We got the champion here, Jessica, with Rick, and we're just doing awesome interviews. We heard Jessica's sweet story. She's got all of her belts here. She's just, if I look at her, she's just a champion. That's just how it's got to be today.
Whatever blows your hair back, get your
Tyler, here with Whatever Blows Your Hair Back. I got Rick here, I got Jessica. I'm not good with last names. They're gonna tell their names and what they're all about. And we're gonna go from there and we're gonna talk about what we're doing here in Chicago and what we're gonna be doing out of Chicago. So Rick, if you wanna say hi, tell us who you are, what you're about.
My name is Rick Ramos, boxer, former fighter, trainer, manager of Chicago. I own Body Shop Boxing Club. Train and manage multiple fighters. I'm here with one of them, undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Jessica McCaskill.
Yes.
Thanks, Jess. Call you Jess?
That's fine, that's fine.
All right, cool.
A lot of you guys know who I am, but Jessica McCaskill, out of Chicago, represent Body Shop Boxing Club, represent Rick Ramos Management. I'm with Matchroom as my promoter, and you know, we're just out here just trying to bring ourselves to the community and let you guys know like who we are. You know, we don't ever want to seem like stuck up or like too good to talk to people. If you see us, you know, him at Planet Fitness or me in the grocery store, like stop us, say hello. Like we always want to just be around and with like our people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So are you two always together? Or,
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
Yes. I mean, he works out at Planet Fitness sometimes, so like I don't do that a lot. But like literally, like 92.5% of the time we are together.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You guys got a good relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Rick with some of your other fighters? I know you represent a few fighters, so I always see you with Jessica, but you also have a few other fighters that I hear on the street. And who are they? And how did you get involved?
I have a 20-year-old Summer Lynn. She's been with me since she was 11 years old. So we have her. She's professional, 7-0. So she'll be fighting for the WBC youth title. Looks like July. I also have Brandy Robinson fighting on June 18th on the Bobby Hit Show.
Also, Brandy Robinson, June 18th at the Hit Show again.
This is her pro debut.
Debut.
Yeah, she made like a really big splash at the Golden Gloves. That was her last amateur fight. You know, she went up in weight. She fought a very experienced amateur fighter. She doesn't have a lot of boxing amateur experience. So she just kind of like jumped in, you know, face first and killed it.
What do you think? You think she's good?
I think some of the best things about Brandy and any fighter will be their discipline and their willingness to listen and learn, and kind of, you know, asking questions. Like some people will just be a robot and they'll get in the gym and they'll, you know, you say do this, and they're like, okay, I'm done. And then she's like, well, how can I make this better? Or, you know, what do you see from what I did today? You know, asking really smart questions where she can work on certain things.
She's looking for a reason to stick around and get better, not for a reason to check out and be like, all right, I did what you wanted.
Yeah, it's a great way to say it. Yeah.
And that's a big difference, right? Like you see some, this person wants to be here, this person's waiting to leave.
Yeah, and I think sometimes you see those aspects in fighters that are a little bit older. You tend to see professional female fighters jump into the game at a much older age than you see them when they're males. You know, you got kids that are so young and they're pro that they can't even fight in a casino because they're not old enough to get in.
Right.
You know, it's like crazy the stuff that you see. So I think now in the female world, you're starting to see a lot of young females coming up. You know,
For sure, I agree.
Yeah, I think I would like to think that I helped set that example. You know,
I think you did. I think you did.
So like the amateurs are popping, and a lot of people are showing their support. So I think female boxing is really starting to blow up, and it's exciting.
I agree with you, and probably Rick does too. That's what I think I noticed about Rick is that he's got all the female fighters on. And say, what's going on here? I'm like, this is Rick. He's got all these girls, they're pros, they're champions, they're flying around. From the outside looking in, you know, I was like, what's going on? Does he have any male fighters, or is he is he going after female fighters? Is he dating one? Are they married? I don't know what's going on.
No, I think, you know, it's crazy. I think I do train male fighters, by the way.
I train male fighters, guys.
But to be honest with you, and I hate to say this because it sounds kind of weird, but I feel like dudes don't listen. I feel like they don't listen. They can't hold the schedule, you know. They can't hold the schedule, and to be honest, I think we're in a different era of men. I think, you know, the way I see it is like, this is gonna sound crazy, but I think a lot of women nowadays were raised by a single mother. So I think the single mothers are raising their daughters to say, hey, you don't need a man, don't count on a man. So the mindset is different, right?
I agree.
So, and the single mothers are also raising the boys nowadays, and they're saying, be nice to women, be gentle, be, caring. So they're growing up, respect to all those single mothers out there, shout out to them. But like, I think like the boys are growing up a little softer. So, and I think it's showing, my gym I have more girls than guys, fighters, and I do train heavyweight. He's professional, 1-0, Matt Hambrick. And I train Josh Hernandez now. I'm the head coach for Josh Hernandez, and shout out to the Hernandez family, good people. But, I think ultimately, I do train men. But in my opinion, I think that women listen a little better.
But also, to his point, when I first came to Chicago in 2012, people weren't opening their doors to female fighters. I mean, the only thing this was like maybe right when, Instagram was like really popping. Like I didn't even have an Instagram account. I got an Instagram account and then found him on Instagram because the places I would go to on my jog, the people I emailed and called, they either didn't call me back, didn't email me back, or if I went into places, they're like, we're more of an MMA gym, but you can hit the bag over there. And I already had fight experience in St. Louis, Missouri. So I was an amateur trying to like jumpstart it back up and, continue my career. And he was the only person that answered me and was like, come through, fine. And
So you felt neglected?
Yeah, well,
In the
yeah.
beginning.
By Chicago.
I don't think I don't think I felt neglected. I just felt like this was the hardship of the time. Like,
Okay,
I would have told
cool.
anybody like it's gonna be rough, but you gotta stay in
you
there.
understood it. You understood the
Yeah.
road that you were going down.
Yeah, like nowadays, I would feel like, oh, this is like BS. Like, everybody should at least hear out the female fighters if this is what they're talking about they want to do.
And you got to remember too, like this was, I don't know, 2014, 15. And I said, hey, I'm going to have Jessica turn pro.
15, yeah.
2015?
Yeah.
Like everybody laughed at me.
You guys were together how long then? For 7
Since
years?
like 2013, September of 2013
years.
is when I finally came
7, 8,
to
9
your gym.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Damn,
that,
you had a
like a
good
lot of
relationship.
people were like, yeah, you got a female pro fighter, kind of like, kind of like a joke, because I was like a newer trainer.
Yeah.
Even though I had a gym for a while, I had a gym 16 years. I don't think a lot of people know that. But, I think like, I was partners with other people, and I think no one saw my vision. I threw an all-female amateur boxing show, and I had Ringcard guys. It was crazy.
I hear about that.
It was crazy, and everybody laughed at me.
Like
all female.
shirtless ring card guys.
Yeah, like
What, did you like it?
I was focused on my fight.
Oh,
This
that's
is my
fair.
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
But you gotta understand, like people like, yo, this is a joke, and I was just trying to do something different.
That's it. I
You know
like
what I
that.
mean?
I
Yeah,
like
I was
that.
just trying to do something completely different, and people are like, all females show, come on. And then it sold out. It sold out in 15 minutes. It was sold out. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, let's get ring card guys. That's what we did. So, it all worked out, and then after
Switching
that,
roles.
it all just started working out. And my ideas sounded crazy at the time, but I remember we tried to get the Ronda Rousey fight when she was going to switch over to boxing. We were this close, and she got knocked out. It was just like I was like,
You're always almost there and
yeah,
taken away from
yeah,
you.
just constantly.
He was always like very forward thinking, where people wouldn't really think of to do that, and so he was ahead of the curve, and then the curve just took the other side.
Because there was, of course, and on a business mindset, I like to think like that on business ideas and building a studio. I'm always like when I told people that I was going to put a boxing ring with a wood shop in a recording studio.
Mm-hmm.
What
They
you
told
guys
you
see
you were
right
doing
here?
too much, right? Like,
There were people like, dude, you're doing way too much. You need
Yeah.
to get back to Chicago Fabs. You need to build shit. And I'm like, nah, I built everything so I could build this. It was all in the vision. You don't understand. This was my vision 10 years ago, but you've seen my stepping stones, but I was this far ahead.
Right.
And everyone, the same thing. No one's seen it. And so it's discouraging, right?
Oh, yeah.
No one's there to support
Well,
you.
you don't know, like, if you're right or not. You're like, man, you start thinking, like, man, am I right? Are these people smarter than me?
Yeah, you're getting insecure about your idea because it
Yeah.
hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Other people try to project their fears on you.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, when I was like, I'm going to, you got to understand, and I say this semi-respectfully. Like, female boxing, in my opinion, was whack, 10, 15 years ago in Chicago. And I just think, like, I think Jessica set the bar for it to be real. And everyone after her is trying to catch her. Meaning like.
I agree. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, if you look at some of the pro female fighters in the past, they fought nobody with winning records. They
got kind of a bad reputation in the beginning.
Yeah, no doubt. And maybe it was because coaches didn't want to put them in there with real competition because they didn't either believe in themselves or they didn't believe that female boxing was a real thing.
I think that's it right there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they were hating on it, but they had no experience either.
Right, and I didn't have experience, but I knew Jess was tough, and we went after the Katie Taylor fight, and we got it. I remember, me posting about Katie Taylor. I'm going to get this Katie Taylor fight. Everybody in Chicago was like, this kid, Rick Ramos is fucking joke, fuck him, this and that, and then I got it. Chicago was silent when I got it, and then that loss was really a big win, because after that, we're, on a 5-6 fight winning streak. After that fight, we won 6 world titles. She's currently undisputed. She currently holds 5 world titles right now. I mean, there's only 10, actually 11. There's only 11 people on the planet who's ever done it. So it's pretty dope, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
But it took a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
it took a lot of people discouraging you.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in my gym for 2 years. It was tough. I put money up for her career. She put her own money up. There's times where she only made $1,000 and she put it right back into tickets.
Double down, baby.
Yeah,
Double down.
But those are sacrifices that I don't think Chicago, not just Chicago, but just fighters in general make. You see these kids 3-0, 4-0 from Chicago who fought really nobody, and they're walking around crazy arrogant, and they're like, yo, I'm fighting this guy 1-32, I want to get paid $5,000.
Or
I need
saying? All new sparring gear, and it's like, what? I had to use shoes with holes in them.
Come on, my hands right now from the gloves 10 years ago. The smell never left.
Come
right.
on.
It's just I think we have to raise the bar. You can't I don't let my fighters run their mouth on the internet. I run my mouth on the internet. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that.
Like you never see Jess unless I say, hey Jess, maybe you should say something, or hey Summer, maybe you should say something. I'll take the heat. I see
all the heat's coming. You're gonna get heat from it.
Yeah, no shit. But here's the other thing: coaches and gym owners, and you know who you are, right? You know who you are. Control your gym, because your fighters are out there running wild, and you guys look like you don't know. You have no control. And to be honest with you, they look like a bigger joke than your fighters. So
because they're representing that.
Yeah, not only that, there's no organization, and your fighters are on the internet calling me out. I'm a fucking coach and a fucking
I get it. I understand
gym owner.
Chain of command. There's a chain of command.
Yeah.
And it's being ruined, and we're here to correct that.
100%. And here's the other thing too: if you call out one of my girls, make sure you're credible.
Yeah.
You can't be you can't lose or get a draw against a girl with an upside down record. You can't beat a girl. You can't lose to a girl who's 1-0 or 0-1 or whatever, and then call out Jessica or call out Summer. It's this is a business.
Right. You don't even
this is a business.
That's their they lost, and then they see okay, the Logan Paul, all that shit going on, and then they see these nobodies fighting somebody, and you think that's getting beat into people's head I can just fight the best because I just had a bad.
I think
the promotion was bad.
No, and I'm going to tell you what it is, right? You're not me. You're not Jessica, right? Because I called out Katie Taylor. We called out Katie Taylor, and we got Katie Taylor. And then she got, like I said, she won 8 world titles after that. Yeah. So it's you can't do me on me. Go do me on somebody else. You can't do me on me. You see what I'm saying?
They're
right now, but wait, real quick. Right now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, Rick's arrogant, blah, blah. No, I'm not arrogant. I'm right. So stop. Yeah. It's annoying. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I like it. And that's to anybody who's watching. I think Rick's talking about something that everyone knows about. We don't need to say names. It's a smaller boxing. Chicago's big but little, but Chicago boxing, from what I'm finding out, the new guy that's doing some marketing, talking to everybody, it's not as big as.
No, boxing in general is not big. I mean,
really
we walk. I mean, I will
big.
say we've been in the UK multiple times. Been in New York, California, Vegas, everywhere, and Chicago is I'm sorry to say it, it's we get so disrespected. I don't mean you, Chicago. I mean us, Chicago.
I agree.
Yeah, so I'm out here. No matter how much people say, oh, Rick's arrogant, this and that. No, I'm still defending you. Because when I walk into a famous trainer, and when I walked into I won't say names, but I saw a famous trainer in Mexico. I can't even tell you who it is. And he's like, oh, what happened to this guy? This guy's a drunk, or this guy's that, this guy's this, or what happened to this girl? She's this and she's that. And it's just
Chicago
like,
he's talking about.
yeah, and it's just, they know I know them. So I'm defending you guys as well as myself.
You're kind of like the spokesperson that's out there for Chicago more so than anybody else.
Yeah, because so it's
I
like
agree. That's
so
how I see it.
so it's like, let's say if me and you don't like each other, right?
Yeah.
Like I could talk shit to you, but I ain't gonna let Billy from fucking Wisconsin talk shit about you.
Correct.
Because
For sure.
there's like a weird brother respect thing.
Nah, it seems
so
to- yeah.
me and you hate each other, but I'm not gonna let this random
Nah, we
dude
got
talk
you
shit
covered.
about you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I like that.
that's kind of the respect neighborhood thing I got, where like I would have a problem with a kid from Taylor Street, and we'd be in Melrose Park, but we hate each other, me and Taylor Street, right? Me and this guy from Taylor Street hate each other. We're in Melrose Park and they wanted to jump the kid. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to stick with the Taylor Street kid because if we can hate each other tomorrow. Right now, I'm with you. Let's get through this.
No, that's how it is. I'm a
That's,
Marine. So
yeah,
same
so you
shit.
know how it is. You know,
Shoot, Marines are buddies, but like in the field, we'll fight each other. But we go out in the streets.
it's a different
You
story.
pick on my guy. I hate this motherfucker, but I ain't letting you smoke. him.
100%. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I'm trying to be Johnny Tough Guy or whatever. What
No,
I'm saying,
nah, you
what
gotta take care of your own.
Yeah, what I'm saying is Chicago. No matter how much you feel like I get mad at Chicago, I get mad because I feel like you guys are all better. We're all better. You know, I feel like I'm over here defending you, and I don't tell you, hey, so-and-so is talking shit about you, and I'm defending you. If I did that, I would have phone calls with everybody, because everywhere I go, hey, do you know fucking Johnny Gugats? Hey, he's a jagoff. Hey, you know Sarah fucking, Stinky Crotch? Yeah, she's terrible. You
And
know,
then
and
it just
I'm-
gets back
Yeah.
that you said something bad, and really you
Yeah,
were
but
defending
I
that.
don't, and I'm trying to defend them. When you talk good about someone, they don't run back and tell them.
No, they don't.
You see what I'm saying? So if you never heard me mention your name, chances are I said something good about you, and it never went back to you because people don't like negativity spreads way faster than
Crazy that
positivity.
You're right about that.
And
It's
it
crazy.
gets frustrating when you're the spokesperson for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, people might tell you a little bit of good. They're gonna tell you everything bad about Chicago.
Yeah.
They're gonna like ask you questions.
Crazy.
It's like at some point you became the spokesperson and everything filters through you, and it gets exhausting.
Yeah.
You called the attention to yourself, right? Like you did something
100%.
big. You said, I called this out. I got this. You're doing great things.
Yeah.
Now people want to kind of drop you down to bring you to their level, right? So they can feel like maybe, I don't know what I'm trying
Maybe
to say.
they're at a higher level.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
If
yeah,
I'm on the
yeah.
same level as Rick, that means I'm that guy.
Thank you. So they're
It's
bringing
like-
you down to their level so,
So
they
they
feel more
can
comfortable.
feel-
with
yeah.
Right, and it's crazy too because there's some names out there where like I was literally gonna sign this. I was gonna reach out to this female who I don't know if we had the best relationship. I think it was kind of rocky, and I was gonna reach out to her just randomly. I'm like, hey, you think you can get so and so on the phone? I think I want to sign her because I'm the director of Fight Stars female talent. So I'm like, I'm gonna come to Chicago first. I'm gonna sign all the females in Chicago. The next day I go on the internet, I wake up and I'm getting blasted on the internet. I'm like, I was literally about to call this girl today to sign her to a 3-year, 12-fight deal.
And then
Literally.
that day.
The night I said, I'll probably reach out to her tomorrow. I don't know if she'll even respond. I'll reach out to her tomorrow. And then I jump on the internet and I'm just like, this is insane.
Shoot, that's a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, not for me. I don't care. But
Open
for,
your eye a little bit.
yeah, I mean,
Perfect
I'm trying, like, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. And this, sorry to cut you off. But here's the other thing. It's like, this is a business for me. Like, Johnny coach, like Johnny down the block coach, I know, like, they think it's sweet to say, this isn't a business for, or they don't even say that. They don't even know what it means. But, like, they say, I do this for the kids.
Yeah.
I do this for the kids. Hey, God bless. Don't say that no more. And I'll tell you why. Because when you get a good kid, and this isn't a business to you, then when you get to that kid starts making money, you can't help the kid start a business. You actually ruin the kid. You see what I'm saying? So this is a business for me. This is a straight business. Like I said this before, and I said this over and over again, but I know this is going to be like watched more so in Chicago, so I'm going to say it again because I feel like Chicago doesn't listen. Each fighter of mine is a company. Tyler, if I was your manager, Tyler would be a company, and I'm the CEO. Jessica McCaskill, I'm the CEO of Jessica McCaskill. I'm the CEO, co-CEO of with Olivia Curry. I'm the main CEO for Summer Lynn.
Yep.
I treat all these women like companies and men, and I'm the CEO, and I want all my companies to succeed. Where Johnny down the block, Johnny's sister manages her sister or her girlfriend manager or the girl manages this guy, and all their fighters got losing records.
I get it.
And it's just it's like, yo, this isn't like, let me have a manager so I sound cool. Get people who know what the fuck they're doing. Because look at, I just released a fighter, and I hate to say this, I just released a fighter in November for reasons that I won't get into, but I said, hey, I don't think it's working out, right? And this fighter surrounded herself with people who were, in my opinion, were not at a level that I would consider my fighters being safe. And now this fighter is, in a situation where she's fighting for her life, and it's so sad and unfortunate, because I just feel like
she's getting done wrong. And you got a different structure,
and I'm being hard on you because I think I know what it takes to succeed.
You're confident. You're confident.
Yeah, of course. And it's just like, that's why everyone says I'm arrogant, right?
You experience results.
Yeah,
right.
100%. And it's like, if your trainer or your manager or your promoter don't think that they're the best, fire them. You see, like, my barber thinks he's the best. He better think he's the best. He's cutting my fucking hair. You know what I'm saying? My fighter better think she's the
I got
best.
the same mentality.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's the business mentality, and you've definitely broken apart. Like, I am a businessman. This is a business.
100%.
These guys are my business.
100%.
They're not fighting. That's good.
And when he says like he's getting results, it's not just like, hey, I'm Rick and I'm getting wins, but like each business, each fighter is like, man, I'm faster today, or like, oh, I can do like more rounds today. Like, we're experiencing better benefits and better outcomes.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid. He's preaching.
And it's
all
like,
going
we
in.
don't even know how hard our workout is anymore, because we're so into it until somebody from the outside comes in, because we'll fly in sparring partners or whatever, and they can't make it through the first 20 minutes of our training.
Right, and the other thing here, let's talk about you for a second.
Yeah.
Jessica McCaskill, right? She's in ESBC boxing video game that's going to be released later this year.
Boxing video game.
Not only is she,
but
yeah, there you go.
In the VR, we're gonna be you in the ring. I know what you're doing here. We're gonna
Right,
be in there.
so it's not just boxing, right? And that's what I'm saying.
That's like a business, right? Like,
Yes,
that has nothing to do with
she's commentating. She commentated Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. She commentated the Canelo fight. Those are the two biggest fights back to back. She commentated, like in the last 3 to 5 years, right? So
got a deal with iSlide.
Yeah, she got the iSlide sandal deal. She has a video game deal. She's at the zone deal on the commentary role.
So she's been commentating. So
yeah,
would it be crazy to ask if she's not fighting on the 18th? Maybe she could commentate
for
at
Bobby.
The show, and the Bobby with whatever blows your head back studio. I don't know.
Bobby, you could throw us a couple bucks, Bobby. I mean, it's different. I love you for free.
My manager is working right now. Right? He's doing his job.
Bobby's my guy, and Bobby gave us an opportunity. Bobby gave Summer her pro debut. Jessica her pro debut.
Bobby's giving me an opportunity. Letting me film, talk to everybody in Chicago. He's the pro guy. He's the one with the big name, and we're coming up and we're talking to everybody, and so Bobby.
My first amateur fight. I don't even know if Bobby knows this, but my first amateur fight at the Boys and Girls Club, Bobby was the promoter. I was on the
Boys
show.
and Girls Clubs. I hear a lot about that in the beginning. That
was I don't even know, 89, maybe 1989, 1990. Bobby Hitz was the promoter, and I think Mikey Jankovic, I think that was his last amateur fight. And maybe Johnny Lewis fought, or maybe no, Johnny Lewis was pro. But either way, like, I fought on, that's how long ago. I think it was 89, Bob. Or 1990, I don't remember. Bobby Hitz probably knows, but.
Oh, you're mine. You look young, man. You're
40. I'll be 46 in a couple
weeks.
Wow,
I thought you were my age. I'm 35.
God bless.
Good for you.
I'm old. I'm an old fuck. No, but like it's Bobby Hitz, Dominic Pasoli, like those guys.
Dominic Pasoli.
Those guys are.
So our host Juan, he's not here. He's actually running late. He was supposed to be here. He looks like Dominic Pasoli.
He looks
like
Bobby
Hitz can't stop talking. If you watch that video, he's calling him out. Like, this guy right here. And Juan looks like Dominic.
No, but
we
like,
have not met this Dominic Pasoli guy, but everybody has talked about him, and they haven't had the best things to say about him.
No, you know what? I think
he helped with the beginning, because you knew Dom. And
I knew Dom
They
for a while.
got me started
20
as
years,
well.
22 years.
They were Warriors was my first promoter. And
that you signed with,
Yeah, again, this is still back when it was really hard to convince people that female boxing was good, And honestly, when I first started out, you had a couple pro guys, and I'm like, okay, great. Like, I have like something to follow, like a path to kind of like, hide behind until I can figure out where I'm going. And then those guys, they were out, and it was just me. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? You know, so
Right.
it's just like I just had to do the biggest and the baddest and the best every single day.
I know that feeling that
Yeah,
you're talking
man,
about,
it's
like
just
when
like-
you don't want to hide behind someone else, but you do realize that you are, but it's okay because they're a little bit leveled more up than
It's
you.
like what
Yeah.
they should be doing. And,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
take on that responsibility now where it's like, I'm going to tell you how to do this. I'm going to show you how to do this. But I'm a little bit more strict. I'm like, you better fucking pick it up, okay? Like, you get like 2 tries and then you're out, you know? So, I mean, that's the role that you're in when you're a professional boxer, you know? So I was looking for the example there. And then when we started to get into the pros, again, it was just kind of like, you know, female
You're
boxing.
never really
you
ready.
know?
You're never really
Yeah.
never really ready
I
until
was,
you're ready.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Till
do
you
it.
do it.
I
you
was
do
like,
it.
Rick, you lead the way, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it because, like, again, he was the only guy to say, yeah, let's do it. So he knew Dominic, and then Dominic, you know, he met me. We had conversation. I sat ringside at one of the fights. Kind of talked about the fight a little bit, and they were like, yeah, she's cool. And then
Yeah.
they gave me an opportunity, and I started fighting for Warrior. So yeah, Dom's a good guy, and he's been around for a while. And
Yeah, I think, you know, like I was going to say, Dom and Bobby Hits are pioneers. You know, they both did their thing differently.
They are pioneers. That's what, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they are.
started,
They're
yep.
both pioneers. Like I've had it out with Dom, I've had it out with Bobby, but like, man, I've been around. I've owned a boxing gym 16 years. You know,
You've
And-
been in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a rookie either, and,
No.
and Bobby and Dominic been around way longer than I have. But you know, Bobby's still doing it. Like, I mean, he probably doesn't have to do it, and the fact that he's still
But
doing
he loves
it.
it. Why doesn't anyone do it, right? Like, I love boxing. I love talking about it. You know, that's why I'm
Yeah,
doing it
I
as
mean,
well.
to be honest with you, it's good to see, you know, him still doing it. And, you know, I think, you know, we talked on the phone, and now we're going to start, Bobby Hits and myself are going to start doing business again. So I think, like, you know, having 2 girls, Olivia Curry and Brandy Robinson on the June 18th show is going to be exciting, and it's going to be new for my team. So, and it's going to be hopefully the beginning of something new with Bobby Hits. And you
Yeah,
know,
hopefully.
I bring a new following to his already established company.
'Cause you got Fight Star. Can you explain? Sorry
Fights-
to interrupt you. I'm trying to break
No, no,
down.
no. It's
You got
fine.
Bobby Hit Promotion, and then you got Fight Star, which you're head of and you're hiring, and that's from my take on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, all right, this guy's got Fight Star. He represents these girls. Is it the same promotional value as Bobby Hits' promotion?
They're more of a media company. Bobby Hits is a promoter, and they're more of a media company. So they're gonna do like the media. They're gonna offer legal services in case if somebody needs contracts read or whatever. They're gonna build profiles. So that's the route we're gonna go with Fight Star. So I'm gonna be the head of I am the head of female talent. So I can sign female fighters when I
Yeah.
want, and I can bring them and put them on like Bobby Hits shows,
Yeah.
on Matchroom shows, and Jessica signed with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Production. So. You know,
With
we're
Eddie
doing.
Hearn, you got with Eddie Hearn?
Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
watching Eddie Hearn run his mouth on the line last night.
it's. I mean,
That's
you know,
good. You know, it seems like you guys are getting where you want to be, and I love watching it. I'll be honest. I've been following, and I hear a lot of great things about your name, Jessica.
Oh, that's good.
And it's great to have you in here, and I'm get to know you. And she's a beast, and she doesn't give me that energy. And Olivia Curry. It's funny. Olivia Curry is coming in later on to do an interview.
Nice.
Too, which she's fighting on the card, and she's really soft-spoken and mannered like you too. And back to where we started real quick when you said you like working with women
yeah,
because they're meticulous and detailed, or well, however your reason. And same thing in business. I hire a lot of women in business to work with, even in building things. There's a lot, just in boxing, women are getting involved in fabrication, building, creative, nice things. They show up to work, they're motivated, they don't ask, why are we doing this? You know, they're just there to work and put their head down and put in, because I think for years they were so neglected in that sport. Like you were saying, same thing in the building, fabrication. And so I see that side of it, what you're talking about,
Yeah.
working with women. And I myself enjoy working with women too, and find more pleasure in doing business with women, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. There's less testosterone and like
Yeah.
yelling.
sure.
There's
I'm
less
right, you're
yelling.
wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
have to prove my point. You know,
Yeah,
it's just,
the egos.
yeah.
I have one.
100%.
I have one, and it sucks. And I know when he comes out, and I'm like, "Tuck, get back down there. You
Yeah.
fucking shit up."
For
You know?
sure, for sure,
And
for sure.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like earlier today, I put together a workbench. Like before we came here, he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna leave at this time." And I'm like, it's been sitting in my garage for like maybe a year, and I'm like, okay, I have to get to this like ASAP, because he got me like a saw for Christmas, and I got to put this table saw on top of this. So I'm like, we're gonna get some stuff done this summer.
Hey, if
so.
you need some help building some shit, you know, you guys come in on my show. I am a fabricator and build amazing furniture, like top of the line shit.
So all this stuff came from you guys?
Yeah, I built it.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I literally,
Very
I built this
cool.
table and the base. I'm a welder builder by trade.
Oh, nice.
This whole facility. I
That's
built,
awesome.
Nice.
took 2
Very,
years.
very nice.
But yeah, and off the topic of boxing, but I can help you with that. I mean, we have a shop. If you make a bad cut or need some wood, I can help you out.
That's dope.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, is there anything you want to talk about specifically?
I'd like to hear more. So some of the questions I was like, all right, you came from Missouri,
Yeah.
all right? What were you doing in Missouri that got his attention? So someone did something good for you, did something good from your past that brought you up to the level that gained his attention to bring you to Chicago, or did you move here and then gain it?
I think it was the latter. I moved here and then, you know, caught his attention by saying like, hey, I'm looking to get started. And again, like it was back to kind of like the ego thing. Like, you know, I didn't want to come off the wrong way. I didn't want to be like, yeah, I'm a fighter and blah, blah, blah. You know, I needed a coach. I needed to get back into the fight game. It had been maybe like 9 months or so since I had a fight, maybe a little bit more than that. And I was like, I got to get going, especially because I'm a little bit older. And so it's like, I knew I had no time to waste, you know?
Sure.
And so he said, come. And then I just did the class. He said, do the classes. Cool. Bought a membership, did the classes, but I'm trying to be like super extra. So like when we do burpee, I'm trying to get people to notice me.
Well, you have to.
I like get down and I jump up and I like smack my knees. Like I was just doing the most because I was like, I have got to get noticed. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know,
But there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, you know, do it, make your
Quiet.
resume like
Yeah.
in pink, you know, paper or something. Like get recognized, get noticed.
By doing it, not talking.
Right.
Right.
And so he put me into sparring, and I put his girl down, like his top girl, down with a body shot, and I was like, thank God I did it. Like that, it was like an interview almost.
And that was your top girl when you knew it?
Yeah, at the
But in
time,
your
yeah.
mind, he probably didn't even think that you were gaming this hard, or did you?
No, I was just kind of like, all right, this goes.
It was a
let's
test.
see.
Because you were quiet, right? And then like,
I
you
probably
guys-
She was
quiet.
quiet
Well, I
at the
didn't know
time.
anybody. I knew.
didn't know anybody
I
from
knew
Missouri?
one person in Chicago, I think, at the time,
I know.
and she wasn't like local or anything like that. So I really felt like I was on my own. It was me and my dog, and I was in corporate housing, and you know I didn't know these streets or nothing,
Sure.
and so it was like everything was like fight for it. But I grew up like that. Like
So
I
you
was.
grew up in Missouri. I guess what I'm asking you is like, what did you do in Missouri that made you the person that you are to move here with those tools? You moved here with those tools.
So-
Someone taught you them then.
Yeah, my mom. I grew up in Belleville, Illinois, which is still, you know, Illinois, but just southern. And then, you know, went to college and then moved to Missouri. But all of that's like in 20 minutes of a radius, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say my mom taught me like everything. You know, I grew up, we were homeless at one point, and you know, single mom, we talked
Single
about
mom, we
that.
talked about, so-
you know, like
All
the
right.
things that I saw from her were like, they were crazy to the point where I didn't know what was happening, but I stored it in my brain. Like I saw her getting up and put makeup on. I'm like, she ain't got no job. Like what? She's preparing herself and motivating herself. Like so, when I do get my job, when it finally gets
Right.
everything gets back on track, I'm gonna be
Right,
up in the
staying-
morning. I'm
staying
gonna
confident.
be ready.
Practicing like you
yes,
play.
yes. And it's like a lot of those tools just stayed with me until I could like understand what it was and how to use it for myself. And we went through hard times, and I've been fighting for everything my whole life, and it's not going to
Starting
change.
there.
Yeah, it's not going to
Yeah.
change in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
It's easier in the ring,
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's easy because you actually get to let your aggression out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like I've been through harder things than getting punched in the face. Like I was homeless
Sure.
as a kid, and nobody understands that. You grow up way faster than you should. You don't have anybody to talk to because Sally, Susie, Bobby, they're going home to a warm food and like their own bed, and we live in the back of church.
So all right, so that's when you got your grit.
Yeah.
So you got to almost be happy. You're like during that time, you're like, this fucking sucks. But if you can look back and look at who you are now and
Yeah.
your core strength here,
Yeah.
I think it's got something to do with the story you told
Yeah,
right there.
for sure.
Yeah.
So I think it's got something to do with his story too.
Oh, yeah.
About he listens to these female fighters, and like first thing I asked him, he told the story kind of similar to yours, and like I think that opened his eyes up to me. Because he's probably wondering, like, what gives this chick the fucking grit to do this? And there's other girls that's doing it too.
Yeah.
Here's a common denominator.
He saw like a difference. Like, I came from, humble beginnings, and, you grow out of that, and you have like, better life, but you don't put it past yourself to like go jogging with holes in your shoes, because it's like I could have no shoes. Like your mind just thinks different. So I would work out in whatever I had, and I came to the gym, and I think I had some old tennis shoes or whatever, and he's like, this girl's got like holes in her shoes, and he's like trying to figure me out from a distance.
Yeah.
And I think he's a talker, obviously, but it just got to a point where he would like chat at the gym, and I was like, I don't know if I was working at the gym yet, but I was always there, obviously. And I was like, everybody kind of seemed like they were trying to inch out the door. And I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do. I'm going to just sit and listen to this guy. And he would mop the floor, and I would sit on the edge of the ring, and he would just talk about everything. And I think that's kind of when we kind of like understood each other a little bit more. And, we have such a great relationship because we've been through a lot of those hard times together where we're putting in money. He's living in the gym. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And, things just kind of finally hit off for our careers.
It's a good story. I like that. I like that.
It's been crazy, man. It's been crazy.
Glad for
Awesome
you.
moments, bad moments, awesome moments, and like everything in between.
So where do you see yourself, Jessica? Where do you see yourself after this next fight? Obviously, we're positive. Where are you going?
There's a couple different options. We've always been the type of like fighting planners to think we can go down in weight, we can go up in weight. We have come up in weight, so we always want to be fighting people that have belts. A lot of people will call. I mean, the janitor probably called me out and wants to scrap, and I get it, and that's cool.
Right.
But it's like, be the janitor with a belt and then call me out. We can do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you can't like call out Jessica.
I like it.
You can't call out Jessica and you've never been on TV before.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
Right.
come on.
And
I understand what you're doing, but just
Do you
stop.
feel like
Right.
that's what's going on in the world,
Yeah,
though?
it's just like
Yeah,
everybody just wants the quick route.
To the point where, like, when we fought Katie, we nobody wanted to fight her before that. Okay, it's not that we called her out.
For no reason.
Right. It was like, we were very confident in our skills. Nobody else was going for it, so we went for it. We exposed her, and it made everyone feel a little bit more comfortable about like, oh, well, I can go on TV and probably lose, but get that money. Like, it's kind of like.
There's the mindset, right? Like, you got to think,
For
like, well, I
sure.
could lose and get money, or I could win. It's a no-brainer.
Right.
I got to
Right,
do
and,
this.
and the other thing too, it's like, and this is the thing, what I've seen as of late, like, guys and girls are taking fights that are unrealistic and delusional, and they're getting blown out, and they're getting hurt, and and they're taking it for whatever the payday is. I know the market. I know you're not getting more than $8,000 for that fight or $6,000 for that fight,
Yeah.
and you're getting blown out in 2 rounds. And
And then you're over. Your career's over off
well,
that
that
$6,000.
too, but also I'm here doing the opposite. I'm trying to get on. I'm trying to be like, she's Undisputed Champion of the world. We have all the belts, all of them, and I still
You
don't
should
feel.
have brought your belt.
I know.
Sling them
They're
up,
they're
man.
actually in my car.
They're in the
but
car.
Well, I
There's a
think
lot.
we need to get
Be
him.
right back.
there's a
We
lot
need to get him.
He's gonna have to get them.
You gotta go get the
Because
belts.
they're heavy. There's like a lot of them.
Bring them in here. Well, I want the belts in here for
Right here.
sure. I don't
they're
know.
they're in the back.
In a
They're in the
duffel
back.
bag.
They're in the back in the duffel bag.
Just
They're-
bring the
they're
whole
heavy.
duffel
They're in the
bag.
parking
Bring the whole
lot,
duffel
Keith.
bag. They're
Yeah,
all
bring
in
a duffel bag.
So
And we'll
no.
go about one by one. We get to talk about these. That's what I'm talking about.
So here's what I'm saying. My point to that is, it's like, every time like a fighter gets blown out from Chicago, I feel like I get pushed back a little bit. Like I'm undisputed. Like she's Undisputed. I help her get here. Everybody saw the story.
Even if
Everybody-
it's a different promoter?
Yeah, even if it's
You
another,
are Chicago.
not even, it's out of Chicago. I represent you guys. No matter what you think, no matter what you
sure,
say,
they just
like
say about
you
Chicago.
guys make me look bad, and I know you use our names to make yourself look good. So you can't, go. I mean, right? Oh, I spar with Jess. Yeah, so that's just you
You're
trying
to be careful who you let spar with.
No,
you
no.
now, huh?
Well, let's
now-
set the record like really. I just need like 2 seconds
set the
here.
record. I
ahead.
want you to set the
People
record.
be out here talking about I train Jessica. I hold mitts for Jessica. I'm the head coach for Jessica. Rick Ramos is the only head coach. I do have strength and conditioning, but if that strength and conditioning person messes up, they're gone. Rick handles all of my everything. He controls who I
Rick
spar
says
with.
it? Yeah.
He controls who holds mitts for me. He controls who does my strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
That's his job as a manager, and
Yep.
I appreciate that because
Yeah.
then I don't have
Like,
to worry
you
about
know
it.
your role.
Right? He knows what he wants from people that are going to be working with me.
Right.
So like, if you don't see me in a picture with this person holding mitts for me, I don't do mitts with them. Like it's
like
like
it.
you have to understand. Like
Yeah.
people will use our names
Oh, for
for a
sure.
leg up or
Right.
for like, oh, I'm at this party, I sound cool. Like, no, this is business for us, and like I don't want anybody to be led astray. So I just had to set the record.
And all I'm saying is,
I like it.
yeah, and
I'm
all I'm
happy you set that shit straight.
and all I'm saying is like, no matter what you think about how I feel or whatever, like I want everyone from Chicago to win. But you can't be taking goofy fights. You can't. If you call me for advice, which some of you do, I give you an hour of my time and I tell you what your best options are, and then you don't take my advice and you get blown out, and then it's just like, don't call me back. Because then they call me back and try to run it back, and it's difficult, man. And it's like
they call back and they're like, no, I'll listen this time, and it's like, you messed up your one and only chance.
You touched the stove. I fucking told you it was
Right,
hot.
now
you're
It was
burnt.
red.
There he
glowing.
is.
I know.
I told you. That's why I didn't want to go get it.
I'm excited to go out. Bring
He
these over
normally
here.
carries.
This
Yeah.
is the shit we want on this show. Some
Yeah.
results.
Thank you, sir.
Everyone's talking,
Thank you, sir.
saying. Now we
got it. Tyler's got the pull.
Oh, all right.
one by one. Let's bring these out.
So first
There
of
you
all,
go.
shout out to my homegirl Beth. She made these lovely little bags
Shout out to
for
Beth.
me.
Looking out for her belt.
Yeah, she's my homie from college.
Oh, they look
So
at the
this is-
Isn't
snowboard
that
bag.
nice?
She
Yeah,
made these for
she
you?
made them all.
Back to another woman taking care of another woman. No
Yeah.
guy's gonna make this shit.
Yeah, right.
Here,
But
give me- I'll
I
take
can't
that.
have my belts like clanking up against
Damn.
each other.
That's the
So,
IBF?
Yep,
Yeah, I'll
IBF.
take
So
mine.
sometimes you'll see belts and they're
Let me
different
hold
colors.
This is hat.
They're all heavy.
I did not.
They're
know
probably all about.
this.
They're
And
all
then-
about
wait, this is
9,
what
10 pounds.
Yeah, and then they'd be like, "Yo, Jess, can
What
you hold
one's
all
this?
the belts?" IBF.
IBF. Can you say it? IBF stands for what?
International
International Boxing,
Federation. Yes.
International Boxing Federation.
This
They'd be
is-
like,
Jessica
"Jess, hold all
McCaskill
the
wears
belts.
this shit. It weighs like 20 pounds.
Hold
It's
all the belts,
gold.
and then when you're posing, they'd be like, "No, can you lift it up?"
no,
Oh,
This
Oh,
is
man.
WBO.
Yes, this is impressive.
World Boxing Organization.
World Boxing Organization, WBO. Like, damn.
See, this is the one that everybody wants, right? This is the Ring
There's
Magazine
literally
belt.
only.
This is awesome.
There's like less than 12 people that have this.
Yeah.
Because
Jessica,
you have
that's
to be
awesome.
ranked. I'm talking about men, women combined, like 12 people.
Jessica is a beast.
Because you have to be ranked number 1 and number 2
Hold
to
this
even fight
shit.
for it. So the first
Damn.
time I fought Cecilia, I couldn't fight
When was
for
your
it.
first belt? How long have you when you got your first belt?
That was
2018
Yeah.
WBC here in Chicago,
So this
by
like,
the
last
way.
4 years, you're like taking weight in gold. You're like,
Yeah.
this ain't 14 karat.
Yeah.
I can't cash these in later.
This is probably, this is arguably the second best belt.
When
This
do
is-
these stop?
This is WBA. WBA right there.
WBA.
I think the other one is not here. We
Oh.
took it. We took it on a trip
WBA.
with
Look
us.
at all these belts.
And there's
This
one
impressed
more.
Van Kiefer. This is fucking impressive. All these guys coming out here talking big time. We've been messing with guys with 1 fight, 2 fights, talking big shows. Jessica shows up. She's like, just not even with her belts. And we have her go get them, and then she just pours out gold.
We're missing the, we're missing
Missing
sh-
the
we're missing
WBC.
yeah, the WBC.
Yeah, shout out
So-
to them. But
Shout out to you.
But the
I'm
thing,
proud of you.
We
Good
we
stuff.
go places and like you
just
see
someone
like
to
you probably
feel
see
how
like
heavy these are.
fingerprints. You see all you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, people-
because like the belts are for the people. You know, like they're in a duffel. They're not in a case. They're in a duffel bag
Because you gotta do this right
when I
here.
travel,
How do I carry all 6
yeah.
at one time?
when
Yeah,
I
it's
travel, they're
We need one of
out,
those guys.
You know?
Well,
Yeah. Can we just hire you like when we travel?
yeah.
Yeah, but
Steve, we're on a show. Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, these
shout out
are
to Steve.
great. These look amazing.
Thank you.
Good job. This is
But
so
you know, and that's
impressive.
another thing too. There's coaches
Just
and
leave them out. for a
you know,
little
there's
bit here.
coaches are like, oh, I'm the best coach, or I'm this guy, I'm that guy, and someone's like, oh, you know, I overheard someone say, oh, I'm a world class coach, and I heard his own fighter say, how are you gonna be a world class coach? You ain't even got a world champion. Rick got world champion. Like, how are you gonna say Rick ain't a world class coach? He's got a world champion. You ain't got a world champion. So shout out to that kid. I won't say names, but you know who you are. But
Hey,
but you know
real
what I
quick,
mean?
we have a lot of boxers on here. We've been in the boxing game. No one showed up with all these belts of just gold.
Hey, no
What do we
one
got?
will,
1, 2,
because
3, 4.
no one got these, but all of
This
them.
is results. She's not talking shit. She's been the humblest woman to walk in here. Never said a word, and then she just opens her bag of belts. I'm at loss for words. So anyway, that's awesome. I'm just
Right.
So
So if you
happy.
have no belts, you can't call out somebody with 6 belts.
If you have no belt, or even think of maybe even in a fight with it, but you can't call out a woman with 5 belts. That's just disrespectful. I'm
Yeah,
learning that
it's-
too. Guys too. What are you thinking? And the guy
Right.
can't even call out if a girl's got 5 belts and a guy don't have them. You still can't call her out.
Right. Coaches too. You can't call me out and you ain't won a state title,
Rick
let
gets-
alone
yeah,
the world
Rick
titles.
Gets to get a, this is a team here.
It's
This is
crazy.
a business.
Yes.
This is a team organization of winning these belts. It's well expressed, and this is how it should be like in boxing.
Yeah,
you
I
guys are
mean-
the perfect example of a relationship that I like to see in boxing.
Yeah.
You're both talking, right? It ain't him talking for
No.
you and her probably sitting there grinding her teeth. Like, I don't agree with that, but whatever. He's my promoter. I feel there's a genuinely respect between you two.
For sure.
And I dig it. I'm all about it. I can feel it right now sitting with you guys.
Yeah, and
I'm
there's,
impressed.
I don't, like, a lot of people have this impression, like, I tell Jessica who to fight. I always tell, I mean, I don't know, you explain it better, but
Yeah, he's got like, plan 1, plan 2, and then we pick one, and then he's like, okay, you win, we got, this route, and then if you lose, we still have another route. Like it's never like, oh,
Always.
we're done, I need to take like 10 weeks off and like think about my life. Like I'm grinding until my time is up, and my time's not up yet.
Funny you say that. I was on my way here driving, and I found a new thing like you just said. It's like, what was it? I keep the difference between is that someone quits and they just call it. It's I try to find a reason, like you just said, all 3 ways. It's like if we fail, I have a reason when we fail or a next goal.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of all those. A lot of
Right.
times, some people get the tunnel vision of thinking only the win.
Right.
Right.
And then when they do lose, they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. But you have to think
Exactly.
about. I know we don't talk about it, and you probably
Right.
don't like to think about it. You do have to think about if you lose, what way are we going to go, and then is there a way back?
Right.
You obviously don't want it to happen, but a smart boxer, coach, and manager, I think, would take that into consideration.
right, like even in the gym as a trainer, I train my fighters, okay, you're hurt. This is what we do. Like 1, 2, roll out, get off the ropes. You know what I mean? Right hand, roll out, get off the ropes. Like you're hurt, go this way, cut off the ring, buy yourself time, hold. Everything. We talk about if
you
you're hurt.
train for being hurt.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%, which is crazy. A lot of
That
some
is.
fighters, when I get them when they're new, they're like, yeah, well, my cousin, my uncle, my whoever is like, we don't talk about losing. Be like, yo, I'm just gonna be realistic. It's possible. I want to prep you for when you're in that situation. You know how to get the fuck out of it.
We were just at the
That's it.
Canelo fight, and so we're walking around like
Yeah,
backstage.
you were there. What do you think about it?
It was dope. I mean, just like always seeing big fights and seeing the fans come out, like all that is like always
Inspiring.
something you want to be a part
Yeah.
of, and you want to make sure you keep getting your name on the headlines for things like that. And like we've headlined fights, and people are like, how does it feel to finally? And I'm like, no, we've been doing it, but but it should be a regular thing, But
This is the process right here. No one
yeah.
sees. This is the result.
Yeah.
The process was 5 years. You wait to look at 5 years of work here.
Yeah.
And we're
But
still going hard.
when we were at that fight, one of the guys lost, and we were, backstage after the fight was over. We talked to the referee because we know a lot of the, referees and people that are there, and he's like, "Yo, I had to call it because that kid didn't know how to hold. He didn't know how to survive. He didn't know
Right.
if I got in trouble, what do I do to maybe turn this outcome
Right, he was
around
like
to
up and coming
win?"
kid. He was up,
Yeah.
I think it was
he wasn't
6-0,
used to not losing
winning.
a fight and not knowing what to do in a
Yeah,
fight. Like
100%.
holding somebody, spinning them out.
He
yeah.
was getting hurt more trying to try something new, like holding, and the ref was like, I gotta call it. This fight's over.
Right, and shout out to Celestino Ruiz. He's from Humboldt Park, which is not far
This
from
is
here.
Humboldt Park.
Oh, it is
This
Humboldt
is
Park?
Humboldt Park,
Yeah,
right
shout
here.
out to Celestino Ruiz. I think he lives in Vegas right now. He's a referee, and he's reffed a couple of Jessica's fights, and he's a very, I'll say it, famous referee,
Yeah.
and maybe with a hair of controversy to his name, but I've always respected and liked Celestino Ruiz. We saw him in Las Vegas at the Canelo fight.
Name's
Celestino
Celestino
Ruiz.
Celestino Ruiz. It's a ref.
Ruiz, yeah.
Saying
Yeah,
good things
and
about
He
him.
was the
yeah,
one that,
we saw him at the Canelo fight. We ran
Did he
into
ref
him.
the Canelo fight?
No, he had someone
Yeah,
on the undercard.
A couple, yeah. I think maybe one or two on the.
Yeah, so we're coming through. We're going. Jessica's commentating for the Zone. We're in the T-Mobile Arena, right?
Yes.
T-Mobile Arena, and
Yeah.
we're just Jess and I are walking by ourselves, right at the Canelo fight. The stadium's packed. Everybody's there, and we're in the tunnel alone, just us two walking, and then
The
come
tunnel
around
where
the
the
corner.
fighters walk in.
Yeah. So come around the corner, Celestino Ruiz, and for a second it felt good to have Chicago with us
Yeah,
because he started here in Chicago. Everyone in Chicago.
Back
knows him.
again, Chicago
Yeah.
again. Let's
Right.
be from Humboldt Park.
And I'm
I get
proud.
it.
I'm proud to say he's a friend
Yeah.
because he's doing good things. He doesn't care about the hate that people give him. He's trying to succeed, and he's succeeding. And
Yeah.
he's refereeing Tyson Fury fights. Canelo undercards. He's doing big shit. God bless him, because it's great to see someone at the same level like putting in hard work.
Yeah.
And doing honest work and,
Yeah.
and doing good work, really.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
pretty dope.
awesome, man. We don't give the refs enough love,
Yeah.
And the judges, we just hate on those guys all the time.
Because they be fucking it up. They be fucking it up. Like, ugly.
Honestly, let's just talk about a judge really quick. All right, so there's 4 of them, right? There's one on each side of the ring. Am I correct? They
Yeah.
sit one.
3 or 4?
There's 3.
Okay. We have all been somewhere where we had to be responsible about seeing something that maybe we blinked, and maybe like I thought about my kids or whatever they thought, and they put their head down and sneezed,
Right.
popped their head up,
Yeah.
For sure.
and something just happened.
Yeah.
That shit's real, and
Yeah.
they do
100%.
make a bad call, and it is a person, and the bad thing is they have to stand by it. They can't be like, oh yeah, you're right. Like they have to have the integrity to hold it. Otherwise
100%.
they're weak. Otherwise
Right.
they're really
Right,
fucked.
100%.
So they gotta hold their call.
Yeah.
Even maybe after they go, like, oh man, fuck that call.
Well,
Yeah.
and people don't understand too. Being a referee, being a judge is a difficult job, right? Because so the fight is happening, and if the fight is more by you, like by where you're sitting,
that's another
as a
thing I
judge,
wanna talk about.
there's
You can't see that shit.
half the fight is in your corner
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Just coincidentally, it's always there. From my end, I see the fighter's back, and I can't see around that guy,
Yeah.
so I don't see those shots landing. So I don't really score him as shots landing, maybe. So when he comes over here, he gets hit. So now I'm scoring for the B side, who technically is losing every round, but I only see what I can see, so I'm scoring a draw. And you're
Yeah.
scoring it 9-1 the other way.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's why I want to talk
think,
about it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very,
I feel like
very
sometimes the
difficult.
ref blanks out, or not ref, but like the judge. It's like, was he just texting his wife or something? Like,
Right,
what the
yeah,
fuck
and
is
it,
that?
and it could be because the judges are what, and I say this respectfully, over 55, 60 years
They
old.
all are.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I know I'm going to be 46. I know my vision was different when I was 25 to 46 years old. The vision is
And
different.
do they even care anymore? I mean, they're so
Do they even
old, like,
take-
They don't get excited, like, oh my, you know what I mean? They're just going through the motions.
Yeah, do they even take a visual test? I don't know. I have no idea.
Does
I'm-
anyone even question if they've even seen something correctly after photographing something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't-
They're not tested out. No one knows them really. No one knows their
Right.
name. So maybe that's a weak.
Right, there's no real punishment for referees.
There's no punishment.
I think there's been like some people have gone under like review or something if it was like if it was super controversial, you know.
Yeah, and I
But
don't even know what
otherwise,
kind
it's
of.
like,
Well, here's then what
What is that?
happens?
Yeah, what happens? I don't,
Yeah,
even,
I don't-
I don't even know if they get paid enough to where they get fired. They care. I don't know how much
don't.
they make a fight. I don't know.
The amateurs are
$500
free.
a fight.
The amateur ones are free.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They
So
come in here and they, that one guy was on a cane. Like, they're really motivated. They really cared about boxing, but I don't know. It made me, they're older. Like, is there any? What if they don't show up?
Yeah.
Who's coming? And is there anyone learning this sport right,
Right.
now?
For
Like-
Where's those guys? It's learning.
for sure.
at some point you're gonna get your driver's license taken away, for certain reasons.
Right.
And so,
You can't.
Who
You
did that?
can't.
Who did
Right.
that?
Like you can't not pass a driving test and then be a judge for a Canelo fight.
That's
What
what
the
I think
fuck?
that's what we're getting
But
at.
from
Yeah,
a
fuck.
fighter's point of view,
Shit's crazy.
there are benefits to knowing how judges operate. Like Texas, they love come forward fighters, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna play to that. Also,
That's a good thing to know, though.
Yeah.
That's politics of the
yeah,
sport.
that's kind of like
Engaging
you
it.
doing your homework, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Rick
due
doing his homework.
diligence,
Yeah.
knowing about Texas judges,
Yeah.
they like you going forward.
And then at the end of the day,
Or
you
referees.
can't leave it up to the judges. Me as a boxer, it's my job to just end it. I mean, honestly,
For sure.
a lot
Love
of
it.
times you'll hear people at the end like, if you leave it up to the judges, don't.
Don't. If
I
you
mean,
think it's up to the judges right now, fuck no, you go out there hitting.
you got to do something.
Right. And let's touch back on the referee too. Like if like let's say Lawrence Cole. Lawrence Cole's gonna let you fight.
Yeah.
So you know that you're not gonna break if they're holding you until he says it. Keep going,
No,
keep
you're
going.
playing the judge. This
going.
guy's
Yeah,
gonna let
playing
you
the
ride.
referee too, because
Keep
let's say
going, yeah.
Celestino. Celestino will probably
Man.
call a lot more shots
Yes.
than you think. But if you land a 10-piece,
Yes.
Celestino will call a fight. So
Yes.
like Jessica's, we played up to
He's
that.
landing 10 pieces.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
every combination was like a 10-punch
I
combination
love
because I was
Because
like,
we knew
he's gonna
Celestino
stop
was
it.
gonna stop
He
it.
goes by the book so hard, and he plays.
It's not a bad thing. Shout out to
Right.
Celestino.
Yeah,
it's not a
he-
bad thing.
Hell no, if someone unloads 10 punches, that's what the crowd wants
He
to see.
plays
Yep.
towards people's safety so hard. Like I'm thinking, like this girl's gonna have brain damage or something. So I'm hitting her with big shots. The
it's
only
crazy,
thing,
right?
like, and he stopped the fight, and it would have got stopped sooner, except for like I would land a 10-piece, and then I would maybe slip some, but then she would hit me, and that resets the counter.
It
It's
does.
like, man,
it
I gotta
does.
get back in
It
there.
means
I
she
gotta do
made it. It
again.
means she made it.
Man, she
Yeah,
made it
it's-
through the
she
next.
made it through the next set.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
With
so,
a 10 piece, not a lot of people are supposed to make it through a 10 piece.
right,
Because
right.
you're tired after a 10
Yeah,
piece.
yeah, it's a
Right.
lot.
You're like,
And-
oh, that
and
dude didn't
so
fall.
there's so
Okay.
many factors, like, and we're learning as we go. We don't know everything, obviously. We're still learning. what state you're in, how their commission works, what their medical situation are. Some people are a little bit more lenient on the medicals than other.
I just noticed that with you guys and judges and I'm learning
Yeah,
something with you guys
it's
right
a
now.
lot. It's a lot, and I don't think that a lot of like people who talk shit on the internet, they don't even know what we have to go through.
Yeah.
They don't know what the medicals are like in California with Summer. When Summer just fought in California, medicals were insane.
Yeah.
So, like Texas is a little bit tighter, not crazy. New York is insane. Vegas is insane.
Across in UK, they're
I heard
pretty
that
crazy.
fight that just got canked last week. I go, the ring girl, Stephanie was supposed to be the ring girl in the fight last week.
And
It was in Indy. Where was that? No, it was at
Cicero Stadium.
Cicero Stadium. Something about vision of the fighters. There was
Yeah, I
like 3
don't know.
fighters didn't
Yeah.
pass a vision test.
You
Yeah,
have
it's
to
crazy.
have a specific amount of vision, and if you don't meet that number, then you're not going to
And-
pass you.
and
So the
I
judges
don't.
need
I-
the vision test too, right?
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, right. I don't know that promoter. I don't know anything about him, so I don't want to say anything bad. But that's the promoter not knowing how the Illinois State Athletic Commission works. That's them. He should have probably been like, oh, they're a little hard. I better come through. I better check these guys before I bring them to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of got to know your promoter. You got to kind of know your commission. You got to know everything.
It sounds like you guys
It's
really
tough.
know your shit.
100%.
All of it, even though the refs, the judges, the state, the way the state goes, and
Like
that's the
what they
business.
allow to wrap hands.
This is free
It's-
money, people.
free.
I hope y'all taking notes because this
It
is
is.
free money.
It is.
Yeah.
This is pretty much. See,
Yeah.
see, that's what works is that you're business minded in a way. Like he's business, but you're just as business too. But you're the
Yeah.
fighter.
Yeah.
So it's very important that you understand business because you could get very.
And it's so awesome that you said that because there's a lot of times where even with Summer, more so with Summer now, not so much now with Jess, but I would be like, you need to understand this because I need you to give me an answer. I don't tell her who to fight. We talk about it. Then we say, okay, you win, you go this route. If we lose, we go this route. We're still not bad, but we need to win.
She needs to know that too for her own career. It's
100%,
her
yeah.
career. She's believing you, but she wants to know that you're on the same page as her thought process when you're like, dude, if we lose this fight, we're going back down to the bottom. We got to fight this people in Indiana.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? You're like, ah, fucking, I ain't losing. I'm
Like,
going in there.
like this fight, we sent out contracts to like 2 different girls. You know, we wanted a different fight, and that didn't really happen. And so it's like, okay, well, send her a contract. Send her a contract. We know the pros and cons here. We know the pros and cons here. And it's like, people do that whole like, I just signed a contract. I'm calling you out. No, you got a contract because we sent it to you.
Yeah,
Like,
why-
you made
stop-
the fucking contract.
Right,
You
stop,
offered it.
stop ducking us. Yo, we just sent
They
you a
reverse it.
contract.
They're trying to reverse it. But that's not a contract. But the
Yeah,
that
but
fighter
that-
don't understand what they're
Anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
anything.
Really,
Really,
they're a new
the-
fighter. They don't know your knowledge. They don't even know. The promoter's not telling her.
Right, and the
Yeah.
other thing
That's the
too,
problem
when a
with
fighter
promoter.
fights at 154 and then says, "Well, I want to fight Jessica 147," that fight's got to happen, and you're like, you're in a whole other weight class. Someone from 140 calls us out at 147. You're not even ranked you're not ranked at 147. Why do you get an undisputed shot? You know what I mean? It has to make sense.
You gotta stop people from wanting you. Like you gotta say no just so it builds them up again too. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that's part of your. You gotta say no to a lot of people too because you're protecting your reign.
Yeah.
Well, some people don't deserve it, right? Like,
Yeah.
That too. That's what I'm saying. First off, you don't deserve it. But if you did, you still want to kind. It's like a hot chick asking me out on a date, and I'm like, yeah. It's like, I don't know. I got something to do. on
Right, you gotta
Friday.
play it off a little
But
bit.
I'm like, heart's going inside.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
right.
"Ooh."
And then, if you're a fighter and that hot fighter is calling out, it's like that's because they're gonna give you a payday, but you're probably gonna get knocked out. Like, don't just say yes because like, oh, I'm fighting.
They did
Godzilla.
the research that they think they can beat you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't jump on
That's
that.
another one.
There was a time
Another
when
business side of you.
Roy Jones called. Well, let me back up. You can tell if you want to.
No, go ahead.
There was a fighter that called for us. This was like at the very beginning of my
it was a while
professional
ago.
career. And Rick did his research, blah, maybe not yet. And it's okay to say, this isn't where my path is leading me yet. Maybe in a couple fights, it's okay to say that. Like, people have so
You're in
much
the process.
ego.
You're in the
Yes,
process.
and that's okay. And if they're calling you, like, it's probably for your payday. There you go. You're welcome. Take that L
Right, if
with
they're-
that money.
Right,
You know?
right. If they're calling you, chances are they know they can beat you.
Yeah.
That's
So-
what I always say, right? Because they did their research. Like, yes,
100%.
You gotta go for our W.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's defensive. It's like going to war, like the same mentality. You know, you got to have the defense. If they're coming,
Right,
they
like-
think they can beat you.
Like
already.
Cecilia Breakhouse, she was 36-0. They called me to fight Joss, and I was like, at the time, it was the money. I priced her out, so we didn't take the fight. I didn't want to say no because I knew it would come back around. So I was like, no. So I asked for a crazy amount. Then I shopped her offer to Eddie Hearn. That's how we got an Eddie Hearn deal, right? So then I went, once we locked in a big fight deal with Jessica, I went back to Tom Loeffler and was like, now, Eddie, go to Tom Loeffler, offer him the fight now, because I knew we can get more money for it. Then we beat her, got the belts. That's business. You know what I'm saying?
Before
Wait. And then, not even, let me back up.
That's the business. That's how I think. Like,
Well,
that's business.
she's 147. Reigning, defending, world, like 36-0, never lost. She's 147. Listen, let me tell you something.
more money here.
More money.
This
How much
is
money
free.
are we talking? Can we talk about
6
money?
figures.
6 figures.
Yeah.
We're in the 6
We'll
figures.
just say that.
Good.
And then so so I said, okay, we'll do the fight. This is a world champion, undefeated, 36-0, had all these belts. The weight's 147. I said, we'll do the fight, but at 145. She's never fought that low. So they were like, oh, okay, we'll do it. And then like we're watching her on TV, like in a sauna suit, trying to make the weight.
In Oklahoma, it's already hot.
Yeah, she couldn't
And
make
she
the
had
weight,
plastic
struggling. I'm not saying, and let me be clear, like I'm not saying that may or may not have been a full factor. We don't know. But what I'm saying is, if you're the world champion, the reigning, defending world champion, undisputed champion of the world, you don't give up fucking pounds. Like you're the boss.
So you're confused. So at this point, you're confused. Like this chick's
I
not
just threw
giving up weight.
I just threw a Hail Mary out there, and they're like, "We'll fight Jessica at 145," and I'm like,
Do a Hail
she
Mary
agreed at the
out.
lower weight, and then we saw she was having trouble making that weight, and we're like,
"We're
this
done.
is money.
She's done.
Yeah, we got it.
We got it. We beat her.
How did you guys know she was struggling making weight?
They come
Tell her.
around with like the DAZN cameras while you're training and stuff, and
Like
I'm
footage?
out there in like
Footage,
shorts
giving
and
out secrets though.
tank top, and she's like working out with like plastic on. It's
3 days for the fight.
yeah, and it's
4 days
like
before the
Yeah,
fight.
you're like, what the
you're
fuck?
gonna
She ain't
be
making weight.
drained. Like you gotta know how to train so that you're not doing like random stuff at the last minute. You gotta know what's gonna work for you if you need a couple pounds.
And
real
even
quick.
if you did need to cut a pound or two, don't make sure you don't have a video crew with you when you're wearing a fucking sauna
They
suit.
just told
Right.
Like we were
Get in the
just
tub
like
at night in your hotel room, in your bathroom, and have somebody go get some Epsom salt down the street and like do that in the privacy of your own whatever, because like you start showing your hand, like
Yeah.
people are gonna.
I
they're-
mean-
if it's not true, they're gonna have balls to think like I got you, and any amount of like
confidence.
that you can give somebody is dangerous.
Yeah, what if they're so good at defense? They're like, hey, we're gonna film this and we know they're watching. We're gonna put.
Oh
her
yeah,
in
you
there."
could always like throw people
That's some
off
heavy
too.
defense,
Yeah.
right?
Right,
That's
that's
some heavy defense.
100%.
That's the
Because
game we're
what if
playing,
it
I
wasn't true and we ran at her and got knocked out? Then I would have been like, oh my god, we fell for it.
We fell for it.
But to take it
Sure.
back to the very beginning, the first time we talked about this Cecilia fight, Rick and I had already been talking about fighting Cecilia before they even came to us. And so like that's the preparation that we have. Like one day, like I met Cecilia end of 2017. And we took a picture together, right? We're all posed up. Let's get to the post, right? You're a boxer. We started part, and I'm like, let me put my hand down because I don't want them looking at like the size of my fist.
Oh shit!
I
you're
was
dipping
like,
in
one
that.
day I might fight this girl.
Damn, you're
so
thinking like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like we started talking like, yeah, Cecilia Boa here and there, and then okay, and then boom, it comes up with the fight, and we're
And I
like,
knew it was
we're
coming,
already
too.
mentally
I
ready.
knew it was coming. I
I
said
like
this.
the way you guys are on another level of like.
Thinking
We're
for sure.
kind of fucking crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
What'd you think,
100%.
We're talking to a lot. We've been talking to a lot of fighters lately.
Shout
you
out to
know.
Keith.
Yeah.
Shout out to Keith for bringing all the belts. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, Keith is
He like,
the
well, no,
man.
let me back up. Keith just ran out to the car in the alley, come back with 5 belts, weigh about 10, 12 pounds each.
Yeah, you probably picked that bag up. You were like, "What the fuck is this?" You were like, "Yeah,
Tried to
yeah,
warn
heavy
you.
than
So shout out to
brick."
Keith. Keith's right here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling people got to know like these are heavy. Like that, I never imagined. I never held one.
Right,
I
and
never held one.
and there's a lot of fighters
never
who their
held
whole
one.
career don't even know what it smells like.
Yeah. I
know.
Don't know
That
what
leather,
it feels
yeah.
like. Yeah, like if fighters be humble and just come through and just see the belts.
I
We'll show
pictured
you,
them like
take them
a
out.
fake plastic. Like I
No,
see a lot of the ones
yeah.
at the fake show, like real hard.
Yeah.
And the States, no, when
Yo,
you pick this shit
the
up.
governing
yeah.
bodies take a percentage of your purse. So also know when you're coming for me and my belt, you're gonna dish out a lot of your purse because you're gonna pay part of the sanctioning body fees. Okay?
Right.
Yeah, the
Okay.
States for this belt.
100%. Right. So
That
here's-
doesn't get
so-
talked about. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
let's
that.
talk about that. That's a great
So
topic.
that's a great time. So you got
Okay.
let's just say $100,000.
Yeah, $100,000.
Let's start
You're on the B
shopping.
side, and if you're lucky enough to get to score $100,000, first of all, let's really talk about this because like each one of these, every percentage is different. It's like 3 to 4%. Let's call it 3.5% on 6 belts. you're talking 20%, just over 20%.
Gone.
So that's 22,000 right off the top. So now you got 88 G's, and you got to pay your manager 10%, or
But we're
let's know
still
your
talking
coach.
about 10% of that top
100
number.
Of the 100.
Right.
Yes.
So
You're doing
22%
Yes.
in sanctioning fees, right?
So now you're down at 80.
88. You're
And
down to
the
88.
10%
I'm sorry.
comes-
What is that? Yeah, 7. Yeah. What did I say? I'm sorry.
22.
You said 20 or
78.
20? Okay,
Let's-
78.
Let's call
Yeah.
it 78.
Yeah.
78 grand. That's what you got left. Now you got to give your coach 10%, right? So that's 10 G's off the 100.
Yep.
So now you're down to 68. Now let's say you got your wife, your cousin, your uncle Johnny Gugats,
They've been all
who's
there
your
for it.
manager. He's taking 20%. So now you take 20% off the 68.
You're
So
at
now you're down to
48.
48.
Now you're down to 48.
Now you got to pay taxes on the 48. Let's call it 30%.
The
So that's
capital gain.
15 J. That's 14 grand. So what did I say? So 48.
48.
So now you're down to 34 G's.
34 Gs.
Motherfucker, you ain't making
You
money.
haven't paid any of your bills yet?
No.
You haven't got
Nope.
paid?
And if you borrowed money for your camp,
And
Yeah.
you borrow money for your camp?
Right, and you buy your
Then
boxing
you took
trunks.
a loan out at 10% to make this shit happen?
Yeah, you're lucky
And you're
you walk
paying
away
that
with
off for 10 years on a
10,
balloon?
12 grand, 100%.
And you're sitting here at 10 years going, well, I was going to be a pro. I got the $100,000 fight. I don't know what happened to the money.
Right.
That's what happened to the money right there.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the thing. Like when a lot of people say they know, they have no idea. Because there's other ways to get around this.
yeah.
Which we won't talk about because legally I don't think we can talk about.
Right.
But there's other ways to not. There's other
You're
ways.
cutting, no, but that's big money you're cutting. Now,
Yeah.
you're cutting out $50,000. Them guys are coming tracking you down.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah, you
maybe
gotta
not.
know. You gotta know.
Maybe you
what
don't
you're
tell them
doing.
you made 100. Maybe
gotta
you
know
tell
what
them you
you're
made
doing.
20.
Yeah,
and you only paid
that's why you keep your
6,000.
fucking mouth shut. That's why you keep your mouth shut when you're in a situation. You keep your hands down. There's
Yeah.
always someone out there playing defense on you.
100%.
Watch it.
That's why like I would love to have a pop quiz with any 5 coaches in Chicago. Put them here. I'll ask you what I think are third grade questions. I bet you don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say I know. I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way. So I'm telling you, you should sit down and listen instead of fucking running your mouth.
That's what we talked about. We probably hit 5 talking points that I think that a lot of people overlook that would be a third grade question.
Yeah.
That you were saying.
Yeah.
These were easy questions that we talked about. We didn't dig for any of them.
No.
No.
And that's
they're
why we want to
overlooked.
share the information.
And they're overlooked. And
100%.
They're overlooked. I think the fighter needs to know about how much money gets deducted on that purse.
Okay.
They don't have
so
a
let's,
fucking clue.
So man, you have a chalkboard? I would love to write it down. But
Yeah, we
They
do
got
that.
there's that one right there. Grab
Yeah,
that
we got a
chalkboard.
board. Grab
Yeah,
that
I'm gonna
board,
show
Keith.
it. Yeah, I'm gonna show it. Keith again. Shout out to Keith.
Right here. Right here, Keith.
All right, so I'm gonna break it down because this is really a really good topic.
And then when
that-
he's breaking it down, he's talking about max numbers.
Yeah, we're
like
talking
Rick
about-
has a fee. You know, like we've agreed on a fee
Yeah.
because of how our careers
Situation
have gone.
works, yeah.
But like some new guy coming in, he's gonna get that full, probably 30% or something like every coach is not.
You already
gonna
got your arithmetic. He's got his
Right,
problem, a
right,
formula, and then it
right.
matters to the fighter whether he changes the X factor.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
so this is the purse, right? Let's start off with 100,000. That's the purse.
Let's get the cameras too. Let's go
This
oh,
one
there.
right here. All right, so 100,000, right? Okay, 10% goes to the coach. Okay. Oops, sorry. There you go, coach. And then 20%, if you're lucky, goes to the manager. Some
That's
managers
a low
charge
number.
30.
That's
It's a low
exactly,
number.
Yeah, it goes to
exactly.
the manager, right? And let's say let's say you're promoted by.
Bobby hits. Let's just keep putting this in perspective.
Okay, so let's keep it because this is probably not good for
All
me.
right.
So let's just say it's promoter A. Promoter A is your local guy.
Okay.
Let's call him a local guy. If you're from Atlanta, you got your Uncle Billy promotes fights, and so when you fight for a promoter B, let's call this matchroom. Let's call this matchroom.
matchmaker gets it too.
You owe 30% from B to A. So this is 30%. I didn't even talk about that yet. This is a promoter, right?
Who's putting on the whole event? That's
No,
just putting
yeah,
on the
but
whole.
this is a promoter you already signed to in your local hometown.
So it's almost like
There's two
I'll let
promoters.
you fight for another promoter, but I gotta get a cut.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's going
That's
on.
the
here.
cut.
All right. So this is
30%.
promoter. This ain't the fighter or
And-
trainer. This is just up top.
right.
This
So
guy.
all you local guys who sign,
It's
you
in
got
your
the
contract.
third party promoter act
It's
that
in
will
your
come and get you,
contract.
right?
Yes.
So now let's talk. Who else we got? What else we got in the fees?
You got the coach,
So we got the coach, the manager. This alone is 50%.
the fighter. What is the fighter on? Well, we'll do him last. her
So the
last.
fight, and let's go.
I
what?
pay for sparring
Let's
partners.
say
Well,
28% IRS. Okay,
Oh yeah, then you got taxes.
right?
I
so
pay
right,
for sparring partners. I pay for maybe somebody has a nutritionist. We have strength and conditioning.
gym dues.
Yeah, gym dues.
Gym
like,
dues.
Travel.
Every
Whatever.
gym's different.
Yeah.
Shorts, trunks. Some of you guys spend $2,500 on trunks and wardrobe. whatever. And some of you guys, you only get 2 tickets if you fight on the B side at another show, right?
So you
then
gotta
you got to
fly
fly out
out.
your other 2 coaches.
Yep.
Shit gets fucking
Let's
expensive.
talk sponsors real quick to help offset.
Yeah, sponsors are giving you $500 to $1,000.
That's on a pro level. That's it. What's
yeah.
the most you got on sponsorship?
We don't really do the sponsorship thing.
That's fine.
I like
kinda hand out shit anyway.
I like
Yeah.
the Floyd Mayweather kind of look where it's like I'm not hoeing out my trunks. All right, I'm not you got that many trunks on. I feel like you can touch everybody in your neighborhood and they giving you like little money, and it's like I would rather come out saying I don't need that.
Right.
And let's go. But there are some people that I do pay homage to, like my strength and conditioning coach. I'll make sure to put that patch on there. I got me a Jesus patch. Of course, Rick Ramos patch. Bam, bam, bam. Fat.
Right? Like you don't want like the Johnny the corner store.
Yeah, you don't want
I mean,
auto parts.
Yeah,
A&B,
you don't, because then you become like that. Like you're kind of like a hoe, right? Because then you're like hoeing out your shorts. You want the big brands. You want the 10,000, the 5,000, even sometimes the 2,500, depending upon what level you're at.
Yeah.
But the $500 guys are great. Don't get me wrong, especially if you're starting out. But
For sure.
you
I mean,
wanna
we've
shoot-
had that. We definitely
I
had
am a $500 guy.
Yeah.
I give $500 to
Yeah.
people, and they put my logo on
Yeah,
their
and that's
shorts.
for the local guys. It's great because it's all local and it's staying local, and
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
But like when the higher, if you want
Get on
to,
TV and
you need
shit.
5Gs,
Yeah,
and then I'm giving you a discount.
For sure.
See what I'm saying?
No, I get it. And she's
See what I
going
mean?
on TV. She's talking.
Right, she's on a world
The
stage.
guys I'm on, no one gives a fuck about them. I help them out. They took the $300.
You're for sure helping.
Yeah, helping.
Right,
Yeah,
so
no.
so this is just that, right? So this is 10% to your coach, 20% to your manager, and that's if he's not a scumbag. Because some people charge 30%. I know coaches. Some of you guys out there charging 30%, and you got 6 followers on your Instagram. Don't do that. Don't do that to fighters. Don't do that.
And
You don't
then-
even know. No, some of you guys who charge 30% to your fighters, you guys don't even know how to turn on a computer. That's fucked up. That's
And then
fucked up.
If you
That's true.
are the manager and you are the coach and you put that up to 40%, that's crazy.
That's
That's
greedy.
Yeah, that's-
That's a 2-man job. You should already know that too, and that's
Yeah.
not capable.
That's a good topic too.
Yeah.
We'll get to-
we're
we'll get
gonna
to
come
that.
back to that.
See,
We're
this
business guys, so I
Yeah.
understand.
Oh, that's a really good topic. He'll get into that.
Right. So just from scratch the IRS for a second. Right there, you're at 50%. So if you're making $100,000, that's 50%, and then you got to pay 28. Let's call it 30%. Easy math. You have to pay $15,000 in taxes. So you're walking away with $35,000. That on 100.
with owing a bunch of
Right.
people every fucking where.
Right, and that's if you didn't borrow.
And they're gouging at your 35.
Yeah, that's if
They
you
think
didn't.
You got 100.
That's if your strength and conditioning guy didn't charge you $5,000. That's if your gym dues aren't $5,000. I mean, if you start getting under that, your trunks are $2,500. That is down to 20.
Well, we all watch people walk out with an entourage. They all.
Man, let me tell you.
They
They
all
got
want
money.
some money too.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll answer any questions because I feel like I have questions too. I feel, I would love to get 5 guys I know off the top of my head, but I won't mention the names. Like I would love to get guys on here. Let's talk about this. I'm gonna slide into another topic. Sorry.
That's fine.
But like there's awesome amateur coaches out there in Chicago, and not just Chicago, everywhere, Illinois, everywhere, not just in the little Chicago, but everywhere. There's awesome amateur coaches. For some reason, they don't turn their kids pro. I have a problem with that. And why? What's the big deal, right? Because if you got my kid at 8 years old and you take him to 18 years old and he's 5-time, 7-time, 12-time national champion, and then you're pro, you don't have any experience in the pro game. Pros and amateurs are completely different. So you're gonna ditch my kid? Are you ditching other people's kids? Because I've seen other people who have awesome amateurs. They have
You're
yet
looking
to
out
have
for the
pro-
kid's career. You're saying
Yes,
there's coaches,
and that's the
they're
problem.
feeding their ego. They're not taking care of the kid properly.
And let's go back to what I said earlier.
Yeah.
That's where you guys are not taking this as a business. It's not a business for you. This is like, yeah, I love going to these amateur tournaments, and that might be your thing, but you probably should hook up with a professional coach or manager who can take your kid to the next level, because ultimately you're cheating the kid.
They got to start over with
gotta
a new
start
coach.
over.
100%.
They might
So-
want to teach
And they're
you
not
different
looking at it that
stuff.
way. I don't think they're trying to be mischievous.
The
think
coaches?
The coach is not trying to be mischievous by looking at it the way you say. I just think they're not broadening their horizon. Like, dude, I'm fucking this kid up. They're thinking like,
It's hard for me to believe that, though. And I'm not saying that every awesome amateur coach is a piece of shit. It's not what I'm saying. I just think it's hard for me to believe that with all your experience and all your national champions and blah, 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 it's hard for me to believe you didn't explore the possibilities of landing a good deal for a young kid. And you should be able to, if you're like, this should be a business for you. Is my point. And if
So
you
that's
don't
what
know-
you're saying, like
because how are you going to read the contract for the kid? The kid don't know, so you got to be able to read the contract. You got to be at least smart enough to bring in someone who could read a contract. Do you see what I'm trying to
No,
say?
I get it.
Because
There's a lot of moving
ultimately you're
parts.
fucking the kid.
Like when you cut that off and you're like, okay, go pro. There's so many new elements that they have
I
to
know, we
figure
just
out
talked
on their
about 'em,
own.
like-
Yeah,
it's scary.
It's so much. Like I just feel like, you know, and thank you to you, Tyler, for like giving me a platform to speak, because I feel like there's so many things that they're not talking about. Let's talk about. I'm all over the place with my topic. But let's talk about amateur coaches who are in gyms, not working corners, or maybe working corners, that are working in gyms that can't get USA Boxing approved. That's background check.
Yeah.
I know coaches that shouldn't
not
even be
cool.
in gyms, shouldn't even be around kids.
Yeah.
Don't even make. I mean, listen, all you people who talk shit, be careful what you say to me, because. Be careful, because you guys are not doing
You're
shit
on the
the right
business
way.
end. You're talking to the right people.
That's still
It could-
business, right? Because
Yeah.
if you have a business and there's people who aren't passing background checks, get them the fuck away from kids. And shame on you parents. I've owned a gym for 16 years. Never once did a parent ask me, hey, Rick, are you fucking USA
fair.
Boxing proof? I am. Look me up. So is Josh, so is my team.
Yeah.
And if you guys are letting, and me as an owner, if I know you shouldn't be around kids and you're working at my gym, shame on me. Shame on you parents for not asking.
That's so background check. So I guess
That's why they're there.
We take tests about, inappropriate behavior, health, not putting like a
you're
5-year-old.
like HR. You're HR for boxing.
Yeah, I mean they said
real.
When we got to a certain level, you bring in HR.
Yeah, when you're licensed or trying to get your license, you have to pass all these
Take this
tests
water.
of how things should go. Wait, I don't know who that is.
Oh, I
That
thought it was
sorry.
yours.
No, sorry, that was sitting here.
Sorry, that's COVID roulette. COVID roulette.
Looking out for you.
Yeah, I
Looking out
got
for
you, man.
Sorry,
Need
thank
more
you.
water? Rick?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Talking too much.
But just
Sorry.
like, people have to know how to train and know what's healthy. Don't take your team out in 120-degree weather and not provide them with water. Stuff like that. It's not just, everything isn't just, one thing or another. There's so
It's not
much.
all boxing. You got to kind of put that down
little
sometimes.
bit of
and be like,
everything.
There's a human. And
Yeah.
there's feelings,
We're not,
emotions, there's
workhorses, but, you gotta know how to handle
Your
a
structure-
person, a human, a little human is
we,
right
we
there.
structure our stuff very business-like.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. I like
very,
that.
very
I like
business-like.
that. I like
Yeah,
that.
and I think, and that's why I think a lot of people fall out, because, like, I will call you out. I'd be like, Tyler, you don't have your license, you're out until you get it. It's $40.
fair.
Just go get it.
Yeah.
What does that show about me if I won't go spend $40
Exactly.
to get a license and
said
then
it.
you're like lecturing? What does that show about my responsibility?
Especially if I'm paying for you to go to a tournament in Dallas or go to a tournament in Atlanta.
Right.
I'm paying $3,000 and you can't get a $40 license.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
He's
Come on,
wanting
man.
to
Get the
grow
fuck outta
your
here.
And if you don't
experience as a
have it,
coach,
if you
too.
don't have it, just talk to me.
Yeah.
I'll pay for it. I'm not saying that, but show me a little effort. Be like,
Yeah.
yo, coach, can I teach 2 classes so you can pay for my $40?
Boom.
Done.
That
Done.
don't come-
Easy.
that-
here's
that-
here's $250.
That don't happen though.
No, just
That's
show
the
me a little
problem.
effort.
That's why you're in charge, and that's why you probably feel alone sometimes as a
I
business
do.
owner.
Yes.
Up top, thinking these crazy thoughts. She sees your level, thank God, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be coming off probably the crazy psycho.
I do come off crazy
I've
psycho anyway.
I've ruined him though, because when he was like, Jess, I need help with these fights. I need, a second, amateur fights. He was like, can you get a book? I didn't have that much money. I took a mega bus, 24-hour trip,
St.
met up
Louis.
with like some
Thank
people
you,
in St.
brother.
Louis.
Shout out to
because
Keith again.
I knew people in St. Louis that had books on hand. I didn't know anybody in Chicago. So I took a 24-hour, went early, late one night and came back the next morning and was like, I got my book, let's go. And I'm willing to go those lengths to move forward, and that's kind of just the work ethic that we have. And so when somebody's like, but it's $40, and he thinks man, this girl went on 2 mega buses and didn't sleep and made it happen, he's gonna be
100%.
like, man, bump you, we'll find something else. If you're not willing to put in a little bit, then it's
No,
not.
that's well put.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
put in a little bit. If you don't, get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here.
Right?
I would like to talk about the having multiple jobs.
Let's
Okay, go
do
ahead.
it.
So tell me about all the stuff
Wait,
that
you're interviewing me now?
Yes. I'm taking this shit over. So tell me
Sorry,
about
Tyler.
But no, I
in the
love it.
beginning.
Started to create a monster.
Tell me about in the beginning all the jobs that you had as a boxing person.
What do you mean?
You were
Like day one?
Yeah, you owned the gym. You were training people.
So you're saying Body Shop Box Club?
Sure. Yeah. Just the point in time where you had 10 jobs. What were you doing?
Oh man, it was obviously trying to get. I'm on the social media. promoting, hashtagging this shit. It's crazy. And this is 2010. Like 2012,
You were
where
on top
shit
of
was.
it.
Yeah, I was on top of it. And for the people who are like, Rick Ramos fucking made his name on social media. Yeah, I did, dicks.
That's how I
That's
found
what it's
him.
for.
That's
Let me
how
do that. That's all I
him.
found him.
Yeah,
That's what it's
yo,
for.
yo, dildos. It's free.
It's free. I say it all the
It's
time.
fucking
You should
free.
be on it.
Yeah.
Hashtags
The
are
first
free.
place you should be is free marketing.
Yeah, it's
If you're
free.
not,
Like,
what
it's
kind of
crazy.
business
People bust my balls. It's free.
are you? Yeah.
Idiots.
Nah,
so
man, I'm
so yeah, so I did. So I was doing the social media, promoting it, created flyers, putting them on cars, teaching classes, going to get Gatorades and fucking waters for my gym. Like, I mean, that's just on that level. And when my kids fought, I have 6 little kids in my car. I'm driving the I mean, they're 8, 10, 12. I'm driving.
You're like a babysitter.
Yeah, fucking right. And some of them are crying. This and that. I mean, it's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Then, like, they all win. I remember I took 6 little kids, and I don't remember. Maybe we were a country club. I don't remember. And afterwards, I took them to Hooters, and I'm like, yo, this is like, I know I like passed the background check, but like, but this is like Hooters is just chicken wings. Because, you know what I mean?
You
It
were
was
there
like,
for the wings.
they were like, Coach Ramos
yeah.
took us for Hooters, and I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, let's keep that on the low.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just for chicken wings. But no, it was a lot. It was like nobody helped me. I had one person help me, and you know I ended up firing her. But it's like, it was a lot for me, and it's a lot for anyone to do it. And like
no
as a-
results in the beginning either, really.
no, I mean,
You're
I had
working
a,
for a result.
I had a
Just
decent,
starting, really.
yeah, I had a decent. I had just come off. You know, I was partners with a guy from Chicago who was well respected, and I broke off, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's not going to do good without this guy." I've been more successful by myself than I ever had with any partners, and I think like a lot of smart business owners will tell you that.
Go by yourself and you just pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you
know?
drop the baggage of stress and
Yeah,
arguing.
and just it's and you know just the different visions, right?
different
Like you and I
visions.
might do something, we might see it different. You know what
That's
I mean?
it. That's okay.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
not.
Okay.
Exactly.
We might be wrong as a collective.
Yes.
But not individually. You might be successful. I might be.
It takes a
successful.
person to go off on their own to find that out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always talk about like you're a pack of lions, you know, when you get out, you know, you want help. There's always people around you. You surround yourself by dominant, strong people. And then
Yeah.
when you figure the shit out, you just kind of drift, you leave that pack and you kind of go off on your own. 'Cause
Create
you
your
find
own
something.
pack, yeah.
And then that pack too will start to fall off because that's your peers.
100%.
And then they fall off, oh, those guys are figuring it out too.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like 35 like me and you just kind of like go work alone now and you don't have
Yeah,
anyone
we got
you work
Keith.
with.
Keith's the fucking.
Yeah.
Shout out to
He's on
Keith.
his own program too. These guys all work for themselves too. We just meet up.
Hang
Just
out.
we meet up for this stuff, but you know he's a professional filmmaker, music video. This guy's the man.
Legit,
you know?
I know, I can
Juan
tell.
too. He does a lot of great things on his
Tell
own.
Juan.
The business owner.
Shout out to Juan. What's up,
Yeah,
Juan?
he's Dominic's twin. That's
Yeah,
Dominic
okay,
Cicero's
okay.
twin.
Is that what he
I see
said?
it.
That's Dominic's
I
twin
see
right
it.
there.
A much younger Dominic.
Yeah.
You're much-
But yeah,
So-
we've been talking about Dominic with him for a while.
So that was when you kind of had to take all of those roles.
Yeah.
Now there's people that don't have to take a bunch of roles, but they're choosing to. And what is your thought process around that?
That's a good question because.
Good interview.
Yeah, no, right? so like, you know, I had a buddy of mine, I won't say who, but he was, and this happens a lot, he's a head coach, and he's also the cut man, and, you know, things like that. Like me, when I work anyone's corner, I don't wrap hands, I don't do cuts. I want to focus on all you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I want to focus on the guy wrapping hands, the guy who's...
Yeah, I
I
get
want
it.
to focus...
You're delegating.
If
You're
you're the
delegating
stool
those
guy,
jobs.
you better be the best stool guy in the business.
I'm a stool guy sometimes.
Like
when I'm
I had
working
I had a
fights.
guy working
I'm
for
a
us.
head rapper. I'm a head rapper.
Like I had a guy who couldn't make it up the stairs. You know, it's only what, 4 stairs? Like he struggled getting up and down the stairs.
As a coach,
you know,
yeah.
and I had to get rid of him.
Or, yeah.
But it's like those are things.
Yeah.
You know, and if
Yeah.
and you know, and I'm gonna get to that point where I'm gonna struggle up and down the stairs. Actually, I'm not.
No, you're not, man.
But I'm not gonna get to that point because you know why? I'm gonna buy a flight of those stairs where it's 4 stairs, and I'm gonna do those are gonna be my exercise.
Right?
You see what I'm saying? You motherfuckers don't think ahead. That's my whole point. That's my whole point to everything I do. If your 4 stairs is the only way you make $5 grand, 10
You
grand,
better fucking figure out how to get those 4 stairs.
just get
That's
fucking.
your only job. is
Just
getting up
build
4
a little.
stairs.
Hey, Tyler will build you the 4
I'll
stairs.
build that shit right over there. I had to build one for my last show.
There you
I had
go.
to build one for last show.
He can build it for you. Right now, he can build it for
20
he
minutes.
can-
I built it in 20 minutes. out of
20
2x4.
minutes. In 22 minutes, you're out the door. See what I'm saying? And you know, for what, Gino? We can do it for Gino, right?
Oh yeah, dude, for less, dude. I'll do it.
No,
We'll
Gino,
keep
I'll
it
take
Gino.
10.
Okay.
I'll take 20%. but what I'm saying is, like, if that's your only way to make money, then that should be what you work on. Yeah. Work on the 4 steps. Just that should be your exercise every day.
Fundamentals, the basics.
But if
Yeah,
you're-
it's all business, man. Business.
If you're the coach that's wrapping hands and you're looking at someone's hand, let me see your hand. So wrap your hand. You don't see the commission bothering,
No.
all of your other
No.
people. You don't see, somebody coming into your dressing room that shouldn't be there. Like you don't see somebody,
You are
questioning.
100.
Right. It's like I'm telling. This is crazy. We were at what fight was that?
It was an MGM Grand, December.
December.
I already
And
know what you're gonna say.
I'm like getting my hands wrapped by the guy, Jimmy Sandoval, wraps my hands.
Shout out to Jimmy.
Okay. And, I got some other people in there. I got the photographer taking pictures. I got somebody like making sure my stuff is good. And, like all these people are coming into the room and it's like, Rick's like,
Wait, but who was it?
it was all the sanctioning bodies. They're like,
bodies.
do you have the belt? Are you wearing your patch? Do you have the belt? Are you wearing the patch? And Rick's like, she's not wearing your fucking patch. Get the fuck out of here. And it was just like, and me, I'm in the corner like,
You about to fight? You're not even.
I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Like that's what your team should be doing.
Yeah,
for you.
because all these motherfuckers, like, there's a representative for each one of these belts, and they're
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're at your fight.
No one knows that.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
learning this shit.
So
these guys want to make sure.
And Tyler,
They
you
see-
work for the WBA, so you're on my ass to try to get that belt or your T-shirt or whatever you're trying to
In
push.
front of the screen, on
Ah.
TV.
That's
Everybody
why-
needs to want this belt, so it's got to be shown.
And
They
they're
have to-
making sure they're managing that you do that. I didn't think
They're
that. I just
trying
thought-
to, and I'm in a little room. It's probably the end of this couch it's probably the length of this couch, this big, and there's already 5 of us in there, and like a security guard, excuse me, and now like these 5 people from the sanctioning bodies are in there, and they're just annoying me. So I'm like, I'm worried about her. I don't give a fuck. There's 20,000 people there? I don't give a fuck about any 20,000 of them. I just care about her. So now, which all you fighters should appreciate and love. So like, I'm like, yo, everybody in commission, everybody get the fuck out. I'm just throwing everybody out because I don't care about them. You're gonna get your sanctioning fees, get the fuck out.
You're gonna get at the end. Yeah. Right
Yeah.
now we gotta
Yeah.
win
Get
so
out.
we can keep doing this
And
shit.
it's not
Yes.
just them in the room. Like the zone comes in. How do you feel about the fight, champ? What do you think's gonna happen? So you
That's
gotta,
kinda like us.
You have to deal with that. That's part of the job. And then the referee comes in and says, okay, no hitting below the belt. Do you have any questions? Blah, blah, blah. You have to do that. That's part of the job. So Rick's getting rid of any of the excess stuff that doesn't need to be there.
Right, and sometimes
People want to be there because it's important things. They want to be by you with that picture.
Or
How
they
many
wanna
people
be on
tried to be
TV.
in Canelo's, locker room before his fight? How
I
many
bet.
people, it's just like,
I bet.
Right, and
we don't do like the popularity contest, and we don't need an entourage. Like some people walk into the ring with 20 people. It's just gonna be me and Rick. Like that's
It's
just
crazy,
how
too.
Is
it
that how
Like
you guys
that-
walk out if you two?
Yeah.
yeah,
I
even
like it. I like
even the
it.
promotions, Matchroom, Eddie Hearn,
He's holding them all 5.
usually come in.
Yeah, he helps out. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
all right,
but-
we got the cut man and hold the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like even like the fight week, like everyone, like I think it was Devin Haney and somebody else, I forgot who else it was. They were like, man, you guys are always the guy that's dope as fuck, and motherfuckers walk in 20 deep.
I know
10,
that.
15 deep.
I know that.
a lot.
You know what I'm
Some
saying?
people just hop on the back. I noticed too. Like,
Yeah,
"What the fuck's this
Devin
guy?"
Haney was like, he's like, bro, I see you everywhere. It's always you and Jess.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel good because
That's
we
what we
don't
want.
need all those motherfuckers.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
So you gotta get what you want.
Yeah. So and somebody else said that to us. I forgot who. Maybe Sergio Mora or somebody said it to us. But it's awesome. It's a good feeling. Like we man, I want to win so bad. I don't need other people around me.
I like it. You guys got like a
Strong focus.
you got a strong, really strong focus in a business mentality. What I'm getting on is, and I don't get.
Yeah,
get that
yeah, and
feeling
you know
out of a
what
lot of
too?
groups.
It's like, and you have to agree, right? Like, I feel like we haven't done. I feel like we haven't accomplished
This
yet.
is the process, man. This is the process right here. We're getting more of these. You can have like 10 of them.
like Undisputed against Undisputed. That would be awesome. But honestly, if we did it and I won, I'd be like, we got to find something else to do. You
So
know,
is
like
that where are we going from here? So you got your next fight on what is it, 20th?
June
June
25th,
June 25th.
San Antonio,
San
Texas.
Antonio, Texas. You're fighting. What after you win that? You get another belt, one of these big boys.
No, I'm actually defending the belt, so she's
You're
coming for
defending
my
the belt.
belts. Yeah.
Oh.
So you never want to look past your opponent. So I don't want to be like, this is gonna be easy and write it off. Like every time you're in there,
You got to hand this belt to him. Do you lose it?
I keep these forever.
I always wonder that.
They
but
may
give it-
symbolically hold
See,
my belt.
That's a phenomenal question.
Yeah.
I thought
So-
they had to
so-
give it away.
No, you
just
take
for
it
the
for that
camera.
night. So you get
For
these
the
belts,
camera. Yeah.
you win, you show all the people, and then you go in the locker room, and then you have to bring it to us in the locker room, and then
Yeah.
we get it back.
Yeah.
But
And
then they mail you
They
yours.
give
Another
you
thing
your
no one
own.
knows.
Yeah.
They think
Because this, like this one has my information on it, and that the ring has my information. So
Yeah.
those are for me to keep forever.
Yeah, and there was times where I'm like, the first time we won a belt, I kept it, and the other coach was like, "Yo, I need that belt back." I was like, "Hey, fuck you." Because I'm like, I was fucking like this. I'm like, ain't nobody. He's like,
Yeah.
"I need the belt back." I'm like, "Hey, fuck you." Until
Yeah.
the security's like, "Oh, you gotta give it back." I'm like, "Oh, this ain't ours." I'm like, "Oh, my bad."
I kind of feel what you're
You know?
feeling. Like when you hold these, if you guys keep the felt the bag, you gotta feel one. Like there's something treasurable here.
It's
Oh,
special.
man.
It
Especially with the
is.
first one you win. It's like,
This is my
the
first
best.
time holding one. This is my first time I've been in the boxing
Yeah,
sport
feel
for a
the
long
inside,
time.
too.
I've been
Some of
hanging
them,
out with
yeah.
champions.
Feel the
on
inside
them.
of
Oh,
that
I've
belly.
already. I was gonna talk about that. I want to feel this on my belly.
I mean, like honestly, when you have that like winning mindset, I won Golden Gloves, and I went to sleep with one of these on, like over
Yeah.
taking pictures with my PJs on, with this like sleeping
The
with my
Golden Gloves gives
belt.
a belt?
At a certain level.
national- you
At
won
a
the
s-
national
you,
level?
you have to be open.
Yeah.
But you
won
can be
the-
local.
You won the national opens.
I've won 3 Golden Gloves
Gloves.
belt, 1 in St. Louis, and then 2 in Chicago. I've been to national. No, that was for USA Boxing. I've never been to the Golden. No. I think we went once. Me and Vicky.
The
That was
Golden Gloves Nationals?
Was that Golden Gloves or USA Boxing? Because there's a couple different tournaments.
Yeah, I
that
know.
are-
There's a bunch of tournaments.
I can't remember if it was Golden Glove or USA Boxing, but I've been to nationals maybe 3 times in between those 2 tournaments. Never won a national championship. Been ranked 3rd in the nation. Like my first time fighting in Colorado was crazy. Like you have to do your homework. If you're gonna fight in UK, get there early because the time is different. The weather might be different.
Yeah.
All of that. If you're gonna fight in Oklahoma, and it's the middle of the summer, and you're from Norway, go sit in somebody's like hot kitchen for like a week because you need to be ready for that.
Yeah.
Like I was
Acclimate, you
raised.
acclimate
Yeah,
yourself.
I was
100%.
raised in the Midwest, so I know what a hot summer feels like. So we're fighting on asphalt in the middle of the street. I know what it's gonna be like, so I'm okay. But like, you have to be prepared for like
You guys are
every
prepared.
situation.
You guys are prepared for business.
Yeah.
You guys are prepared for everything that I didn't think about. You guys
Yeah.
are prepared for carrying
like
heavy belts.
even Matchroom, like that's who Jess is signed to. They're like, "Hey, you guys are gonna come out Monday to Sunday." We're like, "Okay."
Cool.
Then they send us our flights. We come
Change
Sunday
them.
because I don't even trust them.
Yeah.
They're our promoters.
Because
I
they
don't
waste
trust
your
nobody.
time. They just know that they're just getting you there early just because it's
No,
so
for
fast.
their
we come a
schedule.
day earlier than that.
Oh, you come a
just
day
because-
earlier. I
Yeah,
thought
they prepare us for their schedule. We got our own schedule.
But we
so
don't
we
really-
come earlier.
Yeah, so they
That's
think
a good
we're
idea.
coming Monday to Sunday, but really we come the day
And
before.
we foot that bill.
That's smart.
You
yeah,
know,
because
we pay for
I
that
don't-
extra day.
Yeah, we don't.
'Cause it can make you
I don't
that
know
much
who
more
fucks
ahead.
with the waters. I don't know who fucks with the pillows.
you're right.
Right.
So we're there before they get there.
And
I
so,
don't-
like
we-
fighting in Colorado,
they don't like when we do that.
feels
but-
like you're fighting in a room full of smoke because the elevation is so high. By the time you get done fighting, your lungs are burning. Like I couldn't even cut my own hand wraps off, and this is an amateur fight. Like 4 rounds, 2 minutes.
It's crazy that you go through all this. We talk about a lot of time in business. So if I'm going to build this table, right, the problem's not really going to come from building this table. The problem's going to come with getting the wood, getting the metal source, having the guy show up to build it, running out of wire.
Trying
The
to sell it.
It's the logistics. Same thing
Yeah.
with you're talking about. It ain't you. You're going to show up in that ring.
Yeah.
I got to get there early to
Yeah.
go through the shit show,
Yeah.
to do the politics,
Yep.
to do the interviews,
Yep.
to make sure my hand guy shows up, hand my hand wrap.
Yep.
You're going through all these logistics
Right.
just for that one moment to
Yep.
get into the ring.
Yep.
And that's what it's about. Your whole career is about that one moment
Yeah.
in that
100%.
ring. And that's
Yeah.
what business is. Everything we talked about was leading up to the fight.
R-
And then
bef-
you got to perform.
And then even the after, you make a piece of furniture for somebody, and then I can't get it through the door. How am I gonna get it out?
That happened. I'm not out of my own door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm so mad at myself.
Right,
Like,
but
how did I-
now you think about it going
Now
forward.
I call people like, what's your stairways like?
Yeah,
I need
exactly.
exact measurements in the elevator. Why do you need
Yeah.
all this? Listen, man, I'm a professional here. Like,
Yes.
just trust me, I need this
Yep.
information.
Some people they'll fight and then they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go out to a club after the fight, and then somebody robs them or something, or like they get
Crazy.
shot or something. It's
Crazy.
like you have to be 100% professional inside the ring, outside the ring, before, during, after the fight. Like
Crazy.
It don't end. It doesn't end being
doesn't
a
end.
professional
Yeah, I
boxer.
mean,
it's
I
not
remember-
in the ring.
I remember we used to do after parties, like after her fights early in her career. Now, like we don't want to even talk to anyone. We just want like cheeseburgers and
Get out
maybe
of
ice
the
cream.
shit.
And reflect like with
Yeah,
the
and just
team.
talk.
How do we get to the next level?
Yeah,
We did it.
100%.
We did it. It's done. We did it.
Yeah.
Now we're going to
Do
the next
interviews.
one.
We try to do all the interviews, and then we usually go home. We usually stay a day after the fight just to let everyone get out of there.
Yeah, no, I get it. Same thing as.
Yeah, we don't want to run into our opponent like in the airports or wherever the fuck. Sometimes we just stay, let them all leave, and then we leave.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So I think that's all good stuff. I think we got a lot of good stuff here, guys. Is there anything
sure.
you saved rounds you guys want to talk about before we end this? And
I think I just want to say like, yo, if you guys have questions, put the ego aside and hit me up because I'll share any.
you're easy to get a hold of. I
Yeah,
got a hold
for
of
sure.
You said you want to be here at this time. What up, Ty? Yeah, I'll be glad to show up. Come on
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah.
you were great to work with. You're great to have on the show. I enjoyed it. And the whole process of you getting you here.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get other people here to get to them. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah,
It's a nightmare.
Which is crazy because they're probably not busier than us.
That's what I
And this is
say.
gonna be the most watched show ever.
I think
Well,
we got a
we're
lot
gonna
of
make
business
it.
in common here. I can
Yeah,
feel.
for sure.
This is gonna be the most watched show ever.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Goals.
I'm gonna make it. I'm
What do you
gonna
think?
promote
What do
it.
you guys think about what we're
The
doing
studio's
here? What do you guys?
fucking awesome. We got a boxing ring and a fuck. Man, I got all kind of ideas when I walked in here.
Yeah,
So-
and then it's like an idea place. It's like a creative
it's
space.
fucking
It's,
awesome.
it's dope. Like
I think you need. Can I just suggest
Yeah.
something? Well, you need a big fucking chalkboard. So you just write
Well,
a bunch
we
of
learned.
shit.
Something
We learned
that
with that.
rolls
We're gonna
in,
put
yeah.
one
Yeah,
out.
and
We're
maybe
gonna-
put a heavy bag so everyone
got a
from
heavy bag.
No. Like for everyone from Chicago can sign it.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like that
Good
bars.
idea.
See, Keith said it was good, so it's all good now. Shout out to my guy Keith.
Approved.
See what I'm
He's
saying?
good, man. He's good back
Yeah,
there.
the autograph one.
Yeah.
You never know who you're gonna have in here. Just autograph it. Dope.
But just the platform in general, like
Is
having
dope.
a space where people can talk about their careers and let people know who they are and being able to connect. I think that's great. You're
Me
doing
too.
good stuff.
Yeah.
I
You're
feel
doing
good. I
stuff.
feel good about this. You know, I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
do.
for sure.
I
And
have a couple questions.
yeah, go ahead.
So you guys say you walk out to the ring. It's kind of just you two guys. It's very kind of like an intimate thing, you know. Like, you know, I'm not into boxing really. I watch the fights, but I don't really know much about boxing. So you see guys that come out, like, you know, for example, like Canelo come out with like a mariachi band. They got a show. Is that something that's pushed by the fighter? Or is that more of like the background, like a show that's pushed by like the manager or promoter, just because they know it's such a big.
They definitely have a say in certain things. For the longest time, I would walk out with Rick in front of me, and then I had my hand on his shoulder, just kind of like a symbolic, like, you know, I'll follow you anywhere kind of thing. Like, you know, he's the person that heads the storm for me. And so then there was like, you know, you're on TV and they're like, yeah, we don't really want Rick. We just want you. And it's just
Fucking
like,
haters.
yeah, so
I
it's, you know, you get it, you understand, so you do your job. It's part of your job now. So I think on that level, I think it's definitely a meeting they have, a conversation, and you know, Canelo paying homage to his heritage with the mariachi band and with the dancers. I get it, but like sometimes we see those big guys, Anthony Joshua, they got fire and smoke, and then they lose the fight, and it's like. It makes. I
Distraction.
never want to do that. I never want to do
couldn't
that.
imagine how
Unless
to
I got
feel,
like a
like-
school choir that I'm paying all these kids and helping them eat or something, just donating to the school. Like, yeah, let's do it. But like, other than that, I'm so
You
focused
don't want
on the
that
fight.
clout. You don't want that. You don't want that.
I
Yeah.
just want to fight, you know, and I'm so focused on that. It's not even
I get
about
that,
that
from
stuff.
you. I get
Yeah, I
that
mean,
from
like
her.
Deontay Wilder. You remember when he fought Tyson Fury? I
Yes,
think
I
the first
do.
fight, and he
Yes,
said
yeah.
that thing was like
Yeah.
60
So
pounds.
heavy, yeah.
Like that's
Why would
just
you do
stuff
that?
like
I
that
thought
they
the
don't
same
think about.
shit.
So to answer your question, I think it's a little bit of both.
I thought
Like
the
if she
same thing
wanted
with
it,
him.
I would
Dude,
get
get
it
a
for
paper
her.
Batman mask
But I
and go
probably wouldn't be
ham.
100% on board.
And what
But
are
I
you
would
thinking
do
about right
if
now
it made
about
her
wearing
fight
that?
back.
I'm like, you're supposed
I
to
would
get
do
in the
it.
ring. And then he lost, you know? So it's like, it all didn't look good.
No. Another question?
Keith,
What was your superhero moment where you were like, damn, I can throw hands?
that's a good question, actually.
So there's this one time. There were probably two specific instances, maybe three. So the first one, I was younger. I grew up with three older boys. So
all right.
yeah. So like
Tomboy.
me and my brother Justin, we would always get into it. And one time I like closed my eyes and threw a right hand and like busted up his whole. He
Shout out
told
to
his
Justin.
yeah, he told his friends he got. I don't know if you remember this. He told his friends that he got elbowed on the basketball court, and my mom said that he didn't have to go to school for a couple days because it was all ugly. So like, I will always remember that. And then you know, of course, my first time
I'm
sparring.
gonna forward this to Justin.
Justin's got to see that.
So shout out to my brother. And then first time sparring, like not necessarily realizing I had hands, but realizing the punches are not that bad. Like the people I'm fighting are not that strong, but I know I'm strong. So it's like you had your turn, now it's my turn. And then I would have to say there's this one time where I'm from St. Louis area, so I'm a Cardinals fan. But shout out to the locals. And there was this guy, and the Cardinals lost, and I don't know if he had to just be drunk, and he came by me and was like, F you, and I'm like, I did nothing to deserve it. So he keeps walking. I'm like, what'd you say? And like I got a little string backpack on. I'm like, oh, it's going down. I'm going to take
And
this
he don't
off.
know shit
He starts
about it.
blazing towards me, and I'm like with the homies, and one guy takes him out, and I get the other guguy, and we're just like all out street ball. And next thing you know, I get like tackled by the cops, and I was like, oh, this is why people don't fight in the street. Because it was kind of like a first experience for me, for real, like as an adult. And I was like, okay, don't fight in the street anymore. But I was like a very amateur boxer. I think I had just started like amateur boxing.
So she felt froggy.
Yeah, I guess
know
so.
That feeling.
Yeah.
I can feel froggy when
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
I fuck with it.
Those are probably my 3 like biggest moments.
That's when you learn not to do that anymore. When you get
Exactly.
cuts and broken
Right.
hands and that.
Yeah.
shit. That's
My
when that
junk was
happens.
swole
Yeah, that's
for
where
a
you don't fight
minute.
for free anymore. Right?
That too. 'Cause that's where it happens.
Yeah,
Any other questions?
that's good.
I think that's it. I mean, I guess relating to social media, I heard you saying like that's where you kind of got, you really hit that. And
Yeah.
You created a following. How long did it take for you to create that following?
Man,
Was it pretty hard at first. Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of hard, right? I mean, if you look at like my Body Shop Boxing Club Instagram, like I still put 20, 30 hashtags on there. Like I'm still pushing,
Does that ever end hashtags? Why the
No,
fuck?
I-
I
I-
have to do it
it's-
every night. I can't do it
Yeah.
anymore. I can't hashtag and.
just copy and
Copy
paste
Not
and
it.
even good.
paste, yeah.
Well, don't log the hashtags half the time when you copy and paste your notes, and I bring it and I put it into a format. It ain't bringing them up in the
I
blue
usually
links.
copy paste from my old post instead of putting in the notebook because you're right. Sometimes it doesn't transfer
Doesn't
well.
transfer over.
Yeah, but no, it took me. I
be an easy
started
way for
actually. I started in like I remember the one time in 2005 I bought RickRamosBoxing.com, and I remember everyone in Chicago went nuts. Like, who the fuck does he think? Because I bought a website. It was like way. I was
Just
so,
hating on you right away. Like,
Yeah,
and
like
it's boxing.
Well, I don't think anyone knew how to use the computer. So
Easy as fuck.
yeah.
Rick Ramos boxing.
Right, it was like
$2.99
it was like
for the year.
at that time it was like $2.99 for like 10 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
It's so easy to buy names. People don't understand.
No, so that everybody was like, "Oh, he's so arrogant," and this. And I'm like, dude, I just bought a $3 website.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? So, but like to answer your question, it took years. Like, it took probably like 3-4 years where people would be like, "Oh, I found you on Instagram." I mean, that Instagram post, that Instagram hashtag, will
Yeah.
make us well over 1 million.
I found him through a hashtag.
That's how we find our people,
Yeah, that's what we
100%.
do the hashtag, and it's just a pain in the ass doing all the hashtags.
It is.
And actually talking about how you guys showed up, I mean, obviously now that I see your credentials, because I
My credentials are laid out.
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And we've reached out to a lot of people. I mean, it's nice to have you guys on the show, honestly, because we reach out to a lot of people that just because they don't see the numbers up there, they don't even give us the time of day. And we're doing something with a lot of quality. We got a good
Yeah.
team. We got a lot.
Yeah, that was the
You know
first
what I'm
thing.
saying?
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed was the quality of the videos and
When we
the
get
content.
people on here, what I always tell them is like, look, you're gonna get some cool fucking content here.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're not amateurs. We just
Right.
don't have a lot of followers. But the
Right.
shit we put out, the
Yeah.
videos that Kiefer is doing, the editing. I mean,
That's all
he
pro.
He just
Right.
got done editing for like a huge, somebody that's a pretty big
Keith.
documentaries. It's one of my contacts in Miami. So we got the contact. We just
Yeah.
started 2 months ago.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
reason Kiefer
yeah.
don't give us the time of day.
And it's crazy
So it's
too.
pretty nice to have you guys on here.
Yeah.
Right, and
We're gonna give you some cool stuff.
Right, and it's crazy to me because at least everyone from the Illinois boxing scene don't even have these credentials. For them to blow you guys off is insane to me.
I know, right?
Insane to me. That's why when you hit me up, I was like, yeah, we'll do it.
Free platform, get all this out here. We're gonna share it for free, give you a video. Business mind, no brainer. Sign me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
I'm not-
fuck.
Not just boxers. We
That's
reach out to
what-
all kinds of people. Like I've reached out to like artists, like singers, and these are all local people. They're
Yeah.
Which is insane.
they're
That's
like
what my whole
neighborhood,
point.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude,
That's-
all you gotta do is come here to the studio. We're gonna give you free content, a free video.
And they say we're not big enough for them.
That's insane.
Insane. Dude.
That's because people are aiming for like the $1 million shot straight out of the
But you got to
gate.
start here.
Yeah,
You
people
gotta
blew
start from
me off.
zero.
People didn't give me a chance. So it's like, no, we're all about like our local people, our local community, and like working together. And like we do experience a lot of times when Chicago gets a bad name because of like a fighter did this or whatever, and it's like we're trying to build that back up into
Yeah.
something really
And we're
worth
gonna help.
something.
Yeah.
Chicago boxing, Rick Ramos boxing. You know,
Yeah,
we're-
and I
we're
think
gonna help.
it's maybe in the Chicago boxing scene too. There's certain people that you should have on, and certain people, in my opinion, that you shouldn't, because I do think that there's certain people that deserve a right to speak, and there's certain people that they
Poison
talk
the
about.
water.
Poison the water.
Yeah, and there's people who should be left out because they've been poisoning the Chicago boxing scene for a long time. So and I'm
hopefully we
here
can
to clean
help.
it up slowly, but I definitely want to be a part. I definitely want to be a part of a lot of stuff going forward. I've been trying to get on the in the Chicago Golden Glove situation. I'm trying to get
That'd be
on.
amazing to have somebody
Shout out
in.
to Larry from the Golden Gloves. I'm trying to get in with them. There seems to be a blockage there, but
For sure there is.
hopefully for sure I think I can
Golden Gloves.
Clear that blockage.
I don't know if I can clear the blockage, but I'm gonna try. So we'll see what
That's all
happens.
that matters.
I think I can bring massive stuff, cool shit, never before seen shit to Chicago.
Just
Golden
bring
Gloves.
her there with some belts and just set her, like have her around so people can see what a winner. That alone, you don't go to Chicago. I go to the Golden Gloves every year. Chicago
Yeah?
Golden Gloves. And
Me
I
too.
you never see anyone helping. They're selling clothes from 2013. They're not excited to see you. I mean, the whole experience is actually pretty terrible.
There was a lot of feedback actually this year.
Wait,
on
for the
things like
record,
that.
I didn't say that, but
I did. I'll own. I go every year and I'll own it.
no.
I'll own
What
it.
what I want to say to that is,
Oh.
Chicago Golden Gloves let me in, and my goal is to fix those comments.
Yeah. I'll admit those. I'm just going there. I didn't go there with a business. I went there as just a viewer.
Right, and I just
And-
think if it's looked at as more of a business thing, I think I can improve sales like first year by 30%. That's
I
first
think you
year.
could too. Only you have a business mind, Rick.
Yeah, and I think in 5 years it'll improve
That's
by
why I'm
60%.
drained when I go there because I'm like a business mind can fix this.
Right,
So I see
100%.
it being fixed
Me
so
too.
easy.
Right, and I've been trying to I'm like I always say I want to make Chicago great again, and I always say that, and Chicago boxing great again, and everyone's like, oh, you do, but why don't you fight this girl, or why don't you fight that? Like, I don't want Chicagoans to fight each other. Like, we should be trying to get the $1 million. There's no reason why you can't get $1 million, you can't get $1 million, you get $1 million. I'm trying to get everybody $1 million. If these two fight and cancel each other out before they get to 50 grand, what the fuck? We're like cutting our own throats.
That's
like,
what I say.
It's to me, it's just there's so much things I could say. Should be like the Kanye, Joe Rogan fucking podcast because I'm about to go nuts. You know what I mean? I honestly feel like I have so much to say about it, and it's just like I don't think anyone's listens, but I know they won't listen to me face to face. But I know they'll rewatch this. That's why this is gonna be the most watched video on your fucking podcast. I promise.
Like there's such a
Man, I hope you're right.
there's
I hope
such a
I'm right, too, 'cause
mindset
I
in
was like,
Chicago
Hold it to you.
that there's people that will like celebrate their loss to someone.
We celebrated a loss. Yeah.
But you don't
right.
go out saying like, oh yeah, like I did XYZ and I fought this person. It's like, yeah, but you lost.
I know.
Like you're bragging about this.
Yeah.
And it's like you should be bragging about how hard you worked to get like XYZ. You didn't just settle for
right.
like, it's
You're
just,
right.
it's different mindset.
Yeah,
right.
like we'll use us as an example. We got the Katie Taylor fight, we lost, right? But we turned that in immediately. The next fight, not only did we bring the biggest promoter in the world to Chicago, we won a belt on the fucking show to Chicago. And
No one else doing that shit.
Brought them back again the next year.
well, yeah, but I think was anybody on the first show from Chicago? Maybe I don't know if anyone else from Chicago fought
That
that
was
night.
October 2018
I don't remember.
in Winchester Arena. So feel free. I don't know if you guys
Yeah, I
have
don't
like
remember.
comments or whatever. Put it in the comments. If
Yeah,
you
I don't know,
remember.
but my point to that is like we brought the biggest promoter in the boxing game to Chicago. Jessica won a belt in Chicago. I had a big part to do with like bringing Al Heyman to Chicago. Jose Quezada, he had one of the best deals in Chicago boxing in 2008. Like I tried to do the best I could with what I had, and I feel like that's underappreciated. You know
Well,
what I mean?
we're here to help you, Rick, to close things up. We love having you on there.
Thank you.
Jessica, we wish you the best luck in your fight. You're amazing.
Thank you.
We want to help Chicago boxing as well. You want to help Chicago boxing, Rick. We're on the same team. We support you here at Whatever Blows Your Hair Back. And everybody, tune in. We got
2 fighters. Rick's got 2 fighters fighting
June
on
18th.
Billy
June
hits his card on June 18th.
Yep.
And then in Texas, we're flying Jessica out to get what's the fight? And it's in Texas, but what's it over?
The Zone platform.
Yeah, on the DAZN platform on June 25th, San Antonio, Texas. So you can see it on TV if you're going out. You know,
Download the app.
Yeah, follow the app for the DAZN app, but you can get tickets online soon. They should be opening that up.
So that's we got some fights. We got some good Chicago fights coming up in June. So we're here to support. And thanks for coming out, guys. And
Yep.
thanks everyone. And this is Whatever Builds Your Hair Back. I'm Tyler Michek, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.